Welcome to Toddy D's Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Brooklyn's own Toddy D, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a great one for you. We're talking about the showcase of the Immortals, WrestleMania 42. We're going to break down nights 1 and nights 2, April 18th and the 19th of 2026. As you know, I'm Brooklyn's own Toddy D, and today I got my boy in the house. He's a fellow Brooklynite. He is my main man. He's a brother from another mother. He is Brooklyn's own as well, like Brooklyn's own over here. He is Benny D, the proud owner of Bagel Boy in Brooklyn, New York. Forget about it, the greatest bagels in Brooklyn. Benny, how the hell are you, bro?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to talk WrestleMania. You know, it's been a crazy couple of months of build, so let's see how it's going to end, you know? It's going to be crazy, so I'm ready to talk about it.
That's awesome. I think it's going to be great because not for nothing, I'm an old school wrestling guy. My motto has been a fan since 77, in the biz since 90, and I got to admit, the last few months, Brooklyn's own hasn't been too happy about the build for WrestleMania, but in the last coming weeks, and we'll get into it later, I do like what I see. People aren't happy about Pat McAfee being the guy, quote unquote, on the line with Randy Orton. We'll get into that later as well. But like you just said, and I quote, it is getting better, and I'm looking forward to WrestleMania 42, my friend. So
No,
without
absolutely.
further ado, let's get into the breakdown. Brooklyn Zone's eyes aren't what they used to be, so I got to put on the focals here for a second. Now, the first match, we got Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and this guy, I Show Speed, some performer. I don't know who the hell he is. They're going up against the Usos and LA Knight. So I'm going to give you the floor, my boy. You tell me who you think's going over. What are your thoughts on the match? Give your predictions.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to kind of dive into it deeper when we talk about Pat McAfee, but I kind of love having I Show Speed kind of come up. You know, he's this huge streamer on Twitch, YouTube, you know, millions of followers. He's bringing eyes to this match. You know, he's got a lot of young fans. It'll bring a lot of young, you know, people to watch wrestling. I mean, I started watching wrestling when I was like 8 years old. So, you know, being susceptible to watching wrestling when you're younger is good. And it makes sense bringing him as a celebrity in with Logan Paul. You know, Logan Paul, YouTuber himself, the story makes sense. When we talk about McAfee later, I'm going to dive, you know, anti-celebrity. But, you know, he's going against the Usos, LA Knight. In the end of the day, I do think that LA Knight and the Usos are going to win. I mean, they've been building them up. You know, they might give Speed the win, you know, as a celebrity, but in the end, LA Knight, you know, as for years, you know, we want LA Knight. LA Knight needs better. Just give him the WrestleMania win. He's
Yeah.
you know, the past 2 years he's had at WrestleMania, they've been underrated bangers against AJ Styles and then against Jacob Fatu last year. So he, you know, when he out there, he could put on bangers. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and LA Knight to take the win.
Interesting take, interesting take. Now, I have to rewind what you said about social media since you were a kid. I'm old school. I'm a couple years older than you. I'm not a big fan of these celebrities coming in having a spot on the roster because being in the business back in the day, I was trained by Johnny Rods, and when we used to wrestle, we used to bust our asses to just to get onto a bullshit match. Let alone guys at WrestleMania. These are pros that are working 365 days a year. Then you get some guy off the street to come in because he's got the social platform. I get it, but somebody like that, in my opinion, should be on the outside of the ring as like maybe a manager, someone who may interfere just to cause some, you know, reaction. But come on, this guy's not going to be able to bump. He's not going to be able to wrestle. I have two takes on this match. Now, I will give you a final prediction, but I feel that something's going to happen in the match that's going to cause the Usos and LA Knight to fall, and the Usos are going to turn heel because I have a bad feeling another version of the Bloodline's coming and more Jey Uso than anyone else turning heel. It's just a feeling I have. Now, LA Knight, I'm a huge fan of his. I feel he should get a better push. To me, this is just a match that's thrown together. I mean, not for nothing. What's his name here? Logan Paul and Austin Theory. They're the new tag team champions, yet they're not defending on WrestleMania. To me, that's bullshit. Plain English, it's total bullshit. But if the Usos and LA Knight do go over, I see possibly this I Show Speed guy taking the pinfall. He may take the pinfall because you're the tag champs. Why would Logan Paul and Austin Theory get pinned if they're trying to build them to be a formidable tag team? Not for nothing. They're already the tag team champs. So if
Yeah.
they're going to lose, I see I Show Speed getting pinned. If
Mhm.
they do go over, I see the reason being because of I Show Speed and the Usos turning on LA Knight.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. And then I have two things for that. One, I would love to see the Usos, turn heel. This Yeet gimmick that Jey
Hate it.
Uso has, I can't stand it. When he was the right hand man to the tribal chief, the promos he used to be able to cut were unbelievable. Now he, pauses every 2 words for the Yeet. It's
It's
stupid.
too
I
much. It's
mean,
overkill.
like it's overkill, and then the running it back, the entrance. I can't stand it. They need to switch it up with him. Jimmy Uso needs something better too. So I mean, I would love for them to turn heel because that's exactly what they need.
They're
But
better
then
heel
going
as a
back,
tag team.
oh,
Much
they're a
better.
great. When they're a heel tag team, they're arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Right.
Like that run that they went on with the New Day in the late 2010s on SmackDown Live, it was some of the best like I mean, I've been watching 15 years. I never really saw the 80s tag teams, 90 like I never
I
I didn't
lived
grow
it.
up with them. I never grew up with it, but that late 2010s run that the Usos had was fantastic. So for them to, go back to their roots and kind of be heel even 2022, 2023 when they were the tag team champs alongside Roman when he was,
Right. Right.
undisputed. That was a great run. The moment he stepped away and they tried to overly push him as the main event Jey Uso, the Yeet, it just became overkill. And I need a change out of him because it's kind of ruining his wrestling as well. You see,
Yeah.
he's watching a lot more. He's a better tag team wrestler.
I'm
So
going to
kind
tell
of
you what happened with that. This is what happened with Jey Uso. They strapped the rocket pack on his back. They said, "You're going
yeah,
to go. We're going to make you the champ, etc." Now, here's the deal. The Yeet thing was great for merchandise. You're going to make a shit ton of money. The
yeah.
kids love it. And I get it with the intro, but the whole reverse back in the beginning,
Oh,
it was great. I compare that, not to talk off topic, but I compare that to like a Danhausen gimmick. Right now, Danhausen's putting the curse on people. It's entertaining, but how long is it going to be entertaining for? See, that's the
yeah.
question. That
That's fair.
the answer is not too long.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping that Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso turn heel, beat down LA Knight. I'm kind of sick of this whole love hate relationship they have to begin with. Turn LA Knight, keep him face rather, turn them heel, and give LA Knight his run finally as a single star. At least put the
no,
IC
absolutely.
title on the guy. Back when I was younger in the '80s, the IC title was like the stepping stone to the heavyweight championship.
Yeah,
Some of the greatest IC champs came out of the '80s. Okay, you had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, you had the Macho Man Randy Savage, Bret Hart, Kurt Hennig, Ultimate Warrior. I mean, Roddy Piper was an IC champ. The list goes on and on. Today, it's not like that. I mean, if you look in the back here in my cabinet, I got my IC
yeah,
title, my Winged
yeah,
Eagle, WWE. Below the IC title is the US title. Unfortunately, the cam cuts it out. But my point is, being the IC title holder was the stepping stone to the heavyweight championship. And if LA Knight
yeah.
doesn't get in that kind of mix, like Steve Austin once said, if you're not here to win a title, you shouldn't be here to begin with. So
Oh,
again,
completely agree.
throwaway match, but like I said, my prediction is mostly overall uh, the Usos turning heel on LA Knight and Logan Paul and Austin Theory with I Show Speed going over as the winners.
I mean, that would make sense. I mean, granted, neither tag team champions are defending on the card this year, which I kind of understand because right now it is kind of a weak. I mean, as great tag teams they have, the champions they have right now are abysmal. I'm sorry, Damian Priest and R-Truth. That's such a random tag team when you have the
Just a
Motor City
gimmick for
Machine
now.
Guns.
Space filler.
Yeah, I completely understand it, but I'm saying when you have the Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, Los Garzas, Fraxium, you have all these great tag teams, and you're just throwing it on to a random throwaway tag team. I kind of agree with not putting either team defending on the card. I
Yeah.
like Logan Paul having it. I like kind of having the vision. I can see them winning. I like Speed in the sense that you could tell he's invested in it.
Well,
He's
I
taking the
think you're out
bump
of
in
your
the
mind, but whatever.
He's
Keep
taking the
going.
bump in the Rumble last year from Braun Breaker. I mean, when a celebrity fully invests into it, like you had Bad Bunny. I don't like it, but you've had Jelly Roll. You've had Pat McAfee, which
Well,
I
we'll
don't like
get to
Pat
Pat
McAfee
McAfee
right
in a
now.
minute, but not to cut
Yeah,
you
I
off. I'm
don't
going
like
to put a
McAfee,
pin
but
in
I'm
this
saying
right now.
he's very.
The whole thing is Bad Bunny. Not a fan of the music, but I got to say, as a wrestler, he really impressed Brooklyn Zone. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
But
So
let's
when
let's
they,
get to the next match because we'll talk
yeah,
more about that in a little bit because I'm very
yeah,
interested to do compares with guys like Pat McAfee, Jelly Roll, Show Speed, and Bad Bunny and others. We'll get into that in a little
yeah,
bit. But what I really want to discuss right now is the unsanctioned match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. You did the first call on the first match. I'm going to start off on the second. This has been a build for a long time. I think Jacob Fatu in real life had some kind of denture work. They made it part of the storyline. He kicked his teeth down his throat. He was out of action for a while, yada, 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 whatever. Now that he's back, I don't know if you watched SmackDown last night, but during Jacob Fatu's match, of course, Drew McIntyre did a run in, chained him up, beat him down. Nice little build to WrestleMania. Now, from what I remember, Drew McIntyre's record when it comes to WrestleMania isn't that impressive. Now, if he's
no,
getting all the one ups on Jacob Fatu to the build of WrestleMania, that's telling me that Jacob Fatu is going to go over. I mean, they're building him big as a face. He's back full time. Natalia Neidhart, now known as Natty, that's her heel name. She was talking on
yeah,
Busted Open about a week or so ago, saying how her and TJ, her husband, has the dungeon, and that Jacob Fatu's been training like crazy. You know, he's always there, never misses a day. I really think that it won't hurt Drew McIntyre to take the loss in this match. Drew McIntyre is already built. He's a multiple time champ. Great look, great persona. Jacob Fatu's coming up in the ranks now as a face. He's back full time. I see Jacob Fatu going over. What are your thoughts?
yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Jacob Fatu, they're building him up as the next, top guy on the brand, and the only way to do that is to beat the former top guy, the
Right.
former champion. It sucks. I will say it sucks for both of them considering, they were both kind of a part of the championship feud, not even a month ago before the Chamber. They were kind of intertwined with Drew and Cody. They were building up for a fatal four way. So I do think it sucks for both of them that they kind of got the short end of the stick and now they're just kind of having their own match. Granted, it's great that they're on the card, and it could be better if they were in the championship match. However, they're still on the card. They gotta, it's gonna be a fun match. A
Right.
no DQ unsanctioned match is always fun, especially with two guys like that who have proven in the past to kind of have that extreme edge. So I think it is going to be a really fun match. I'm excited for it, but at the end of the day, I do think Fatu is going to go over and kind of jump to the next stage in his career.
Great take. Now, that was going to be my follow up question because obviously Drew McIntyre was a champ. They had Cody go over so they can set up the whole storyline with Cody and Randy Orton. It was so obvious you could smell it from a mile away.
Yeah,
I feel bad for Drew McIntyre because this guy always gets the short end of the stick. During
yeah,
COVID, he beats Brock Lesnar in front of no fans.
hmm
He's looking at the camera, touching the camera out there for the fans to acknowledge him, no pun intended. But the
yeah,
bottom line is he had no fans. Now he's finally a champ again. Like he took all the L's against CM Punk,
yeah.
finally becomes champ against Cody Rhodes, which I thought could have been a fucking monster heel run as a champ. I
Oh
get
yeah,
it, Cody Rhodes against Randy Orton, but why couldn't it just be Cody Rhodes against Randy Orton? No title. Even make that one an unsanctioned match or some
yeah,
kind of falls count anyway, some kind of fucking brutal match. Leave the title out of it. Then you could have had, if you would have had Drew McIntyre say as a champion going in against Jacob Fatu, I would have a different opinion. I would say Drew McIntyre is going to remain the champ, go
hmm
over in the match and continue to defend moving forward.
yeah.
But with this whole title switch and the whole Cody Randy Orton thing, which we'll get into on night two, but the bottom line is, like I said, I think Drew McIntyre is going to take an L. Jacob Fatu is going to go over, and that's going to be that.
100%.
But if you got nothing else to say about that match, I'm looking forward to discussing this next one on night one.
Yeah,
Now,
let's
this
do
is a
it.
match that, excuse me, literally got thrown together out of nowhere. Seth Rollins against Gunther.
hmm
Now, let's talk about that. This match came out of nowhere where Seth Rollins was already, quote unquote, medically cleared. He came out, beat the shit out of Paul Heyman, not once, but twice. Now, as soon as that was going on, now, if you give me what I like to call the creative pen,
Yeah,
if Braun Breaker would have been cleared because of his groin injury he had, or what I think he had some kind of a hernia
yeah,
operation, it would have made so much sense to have Braun Breaker come out there, beat down Seth Rollins, and make
hmm
a match between the two of them, or even
yeah,
Bronson Reed. But unfortunately, they're probably both on the shelf.
yeah.
So enters Gunther. What are your thoughts on this match and the build on how they did it?
So, I was looking forward, months ago. to Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins because that was going
Same.
to be for the title. They were
Yep.
building that up. Seth gets put on the shelf. They scrapped the Vision story way earlier than they expected. I mean, the Vision now is like a curse. Everybody who's in the Vision pretty much gets hurt,
Yep.
minus Logan Paul in theory. But I was looking forward to it because I'm a big NXT guy, and I'll talk about that more when we talk about Oba versus Brock. I'm a huge NXT guy. Out of all the three shows, that's the show I look forward to the most weekly because it just, it feels fresh. So I've been watching Braun Breaker since he was, just starting out at NXT 2.0. So to see him kind of have that rise and get to the title, that would have been, I was excited for that. But, they kind of scrapped that and then they were going to do it again, but without the title, like we were talking about um, with Randy and Cody.
Right, right, right.
But, then Braun gets the hernia from flipping the table. Then they were going to do Seth versus Bronson. Bronson Reed gets a freak shoulder injury. And then I kind of like what they're going with Gunther because this is how I'm seeing it. You have Paul Heyman getting attacked on a couple weeks. He's got Theory and Logan Paul 2 weeks in a row. He's got Logan Paul and Austin Theory. They're more focused on the tag division. Paul Heyman told him, go focus, get the tag titles, bring it back to the division. So that leaves him vulnerable.
They
He
need the
needs
titles to be a formidable team in order to make money and be out there, like you said. Go ahead.
exactly.
Good take.
So, he said, go get the titles. So now he's left vulnerable. He's all alone. He doesn't have his two muscles. And Seth is actively, hitting him with chairs, jumping him, whatever. He needs somebody to protect him. So he goes to, or Gunther, he goes to Gunther. Well, he didn't go to Gunther. Gunther came to him. But Gunther, I see this as a long-term thing. This isn't just a throwaway. This is Gunther trying to retire Brock Lesnar. That's the favor he wants. He wants the opportunity at SummerSlam in Brock's
obvious.
hometown of Minneapolis to retire Brock Lesnar. I think, honestly, people are just seeing this like it's going to be an instant classic. You have Seth going to put his all in. Gunther always puts in a good match. These two together is going to be magic.
Pick a
I
winner.
like. See, that's
Putting you on
tough.
the spot. I'm putting you on the spot because this is a match that can go either way, and that's why I just cut you off. I didn't.
No,
mean to,
you're
but
good.
I want to put you on the spot.
I think it's going to be Gunther just because he's not going to go out there and lose and then be, hey, oh, I lost to Seth Rollins. Now give me a match with Brock.
I need
So
some
I
kind of
think
build
Gunther
to get
has
to that match. I need to be.
Yeah,
I have
this
to
is
prove
just a
to you why
stepping
you got to
stone.
give me that match. Right.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to be Gunther because he wants to retire Brock Lesnar, and I think he's going to because Brock's going to retire towards the end of the year. When we get to talking about Oba, he's going to put Oba over, but we'll talk about that later. But at the end of the day, I do think it's Gunther. As this just is a stepping stone to Brock.
Interesting. Okay, so my take is pretty much similar to yours, and I'll get into Brock in a second. Seth Rollins coming back from injury, that tells a fan, oh, he's going to come back, he's going to win because he's got to reclaim his place on the wrestling, on the mountain, on the top of the food chain. But now, like you said, you have Gunther. Now, when Gunther first came out and he came up behind Rollins and he said, go to sleep, go to sleep. He's putting him to sleep on the outside. The first thing that comes to my mind is similar to the CM Punk Roman Reigns match when Punk said to Heyman, you owe me a favor. As soon as Gunther put Seth Rollins to sleep, I said, like you said, the favor's going to be, I want to face Brock Lesnar in a retirement match.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's the first thing that came to mind. So now the whole thing with Gunther is this. It's a great gimmick. I love it. But the only guy that's really left as of right now, besides Brock Lesnar, that's a potential eventual retiree, is Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to see Gunther against Rey Mysterio? No disrespect to Rey Mysterio, because I think he's effing amazing. I love the dude, but it's like the book's written with him against Gunther. At least when Gunther went up against John Cena, you're like, oh, Cena might get the victory, but he's probably going to take a loss. Mm-hmm. It was a back and forth that this can happen, that can happen. With a guy like Rey Mysterio, might as well not even have the match. That's just my opinion. But I also see Gunther going over because, like, just to reiterate, he has to go over because he's going to go to Paul Heyman saying, listen, this is the favor I want. My prediction is Lesnar's last match is going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota, his hometown.
Yeah.
That's where he's going to take the L, and that's where he's going to retire. And I understand that. I think the dude's like 48 years old now. He is more jacked and in better shape now than he was 20 years ago.
It's insane. It's crazy how big he is now.
The dude lives on tomahawk steaks. He's built like a fucking bull. And,
Yeah.
I get it. You've had, you made your money. You had your time. We're going to get to his match with Oba later. But I do also see Gunther going over. Now, my thing is, if he does retire Lesnar and Lesnar, walks off into the sunset, does Gunther become a Paul Heyman guy?
See, my
Mm.
thing my thing with that is I could definitely see that, but at the same time, Gunther has proven he's better when he's solo, right? They kind of when he was with Ludwig, they had and Fabian Eichner. Oh, Giovanni Vinci, that was his name. I was
Well,
thinking of
he's
his I was thinking
unfortunately
of his
he's easy to
NXT
forget
name.
about because, which I thought he was a good wrestler. He had a good
Oh, he
look.
was unbelievable.
I just don't get it. Some of these guys they get rid of. We'll have another podcast another time about talking
Yeah.
about guys who should have stayed versus left. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, so I mean, like you see him with Imperium. He was great, but he's just a better singles guy. He's getting more confident on the mic. He's just a powerhouse.
Better shape.
I Yeah, he's in great. He's gotten way better shape from when he was in NXT UK. He used to be really big. He
Yeah.
lost a lot of because he's locked in. So I could just fully see him staying on his own. And Paul Heyman's more concerned with Braun because Braun he's still a little green on the mic. He still needs a kind of a mouthpiece. So I could see I could see Gunther staying by himself and Paul Heyman. This is just like a
A
mutual
one
favor.
off.
A one-off, yeah, and just like once the Brock Lesnar thing ends, I could see them just going separate ways.
Okay. Okay. Let's dive into the next match.
Let's
This
do it.
one, this one's very interesting because when I hear the tag name, the Irresistible Forces, I think of guys like Bundy and Stud. I think
Yeah,
of guys like Andre. You would never think Irresistible Forces would be a female tag team name, but
yeah.
it has to be because these are two big women who can go and who can kick ass. So
Hmm.
you got a fatal four-way match for the women's tag team championship. The champs being the Irresistible Forces, you have Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, versus the Bellas, versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, versus Becky. I'm not Becky. I'm sorry, Bailey. Sorry about that, Bailey. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. So now there's going to be a lot of crazy action going on in this match, a lot of back and forth. I have a personal pick who I think they're going to pick if it works out the way that the promoters and the writers want to do so, which I'll get into in a second.
Yeah.
I'll leave the floor to you. Four-way match, go.
So I have two different scenarios because it all depends on. So apparently Nikki Bella is injured right now in some regard. So
Stealing my
if she,
thunder, Benny D, but go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, you left
I
me the
left it
floor.
open. I'm listen. That's the last time I'm going to be a gentleman in this podcast. I'm going next, whether you like it or
That's
not.
fine.
It's Brooklyn's own podcast. Damn it!
I was
That's
just
what I
about to
get for
say
being a nice guy. But go
it's
ahead.
your show.
That's
So
right. The
if
floor is
if
yours, though. Go ahead.
if Nikki Bella isn't injured and she stays in this match, the Bellas go over. I mean, they created women's tag team wrestling in WWE at least. Like they kind of pioneered it. I mean, you had in the 80s. I forget. I'm blanking on the name. But there was a
Fabulous
bunch of
Moolah.
no the tag. There was a tag team that I'm
Oh, the
blanking on.
female tag team.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So you had the Jumping Bomb Angels. They were an
That's who I'm
Asian.
thinking of.
Yeah, and
That's
then
who I
you
was
had
thinking of.
the I forgot the women that Jimmy Hart. He had managed them. Once the
Yeah,
podcast goes up, I'll do a little flip up on. I think they were
yeah,
there were two blonde women. I forgot their name. They were big women, but they had these great matches with the Jumping Bomb Angels.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But the Bellas, they kind of pioneered this new age of women's wrestling, like tag team wrestling. So these titles were destined for them. That's the only thing they never achieved in their careers. So if Nikki Bella isn't injured, I'm gonna say the Bellas, they take the titles. If they don't and they get replaced by the Kabuki Warriors, I do think it's gonna be Lyra and Bailey. They've been a tag team for a year now. Last year Lyra replaced her with Becky. Becky jumped Bailey. So
Bailey's been getting
they never
screwed
had
over
their
left and right in
yeah.
WrestleManias.
So I think Bailey deserves her moment. Lyra deserves her moment. Lyra is one of the future world champions of women's wrestling on Raw or SmackDown. She's unbelievable. So I do think regardless, Nia and Lash Legend are losing the titles. I don't see them retaining.
So
So
either way, no matter what you're saying, let's just go on record right now that
yeah,
Lash Legend and Nia Jax either way are going to lose.
correct.
My follow-up question, not to cut you off, do they eat a pin or does someone get pinned causing them to lose the tag titles?
I think, I think, let me think about that. I'd probably say Alexa Bliss takes the pin, no matter what. And the reason I say that is, they're ultimately building towards Alexa versus Charlotte. They started off as enemies and
Right.
they became friends. Like they're building towards that breakup. They're great single stars. They don't deserve to be in the tag division.
And I'm
So
also
I
sick of
think,
this heart shit they do with each other when they come out. I want to fucking vomit. I mean, that's
oh,
just
it's
my
it's
opinion.
horrible.
Charlotte Flair should be a heel. She should embrace it. People naturally can't stand her because of jealousy, because of
Yeah.
the Flair name. She woos like her dad. She took her dad's gimmick. But at the end of the day, she is a phenomenal athlete. She's one of the
Hmm.
best, if not the best ever to do
Yeah.
it.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm not just talking about women. She can go with most of the men and probably fucking embarrass them.
Yeah.
But I like your take on what do you call it? What the hell's wrong with me? With Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, her taking the
Hmm.
fall, eating the
Yeah.
pin. I see Alexa Bliss doing that because, like you said, it's going to be like, yeah, what happened? They're going to shove each other back and forth. And
Hmm.
this whole Nikki Bella injury, it could be a work, it could be a shoot. No one
Yeah.
knows for sure. I mean, hopefully for the Bella's sake, I really hope she's not injured because, like you said earlier, they came up when they were known as divas. The women didn't get the chance that they get today, which they do deserve. I'm not saying all women deserve it, just like all the men don't deserve it. If
Yeah.
you're good and you can go, I don't
Mhm.
care if you're a male or female, you deserve that spot on the card. Whether it's
100%.
WrestleMania, a regular match on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, whatever it is, if you can go, you deserve a spot. If you can't go, I don't care how good you look. I don't care if you're a dude with the greatest build in the world. It doesn't mean you can go at the end of
Yeah.
the day. So if she's not injured, I agree with you. I really hope the Bellas do win the match so they can cement their quote unquote legacy, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
and they can become the next tag team champions. But I totally forgot about the Kabuki Warriors. That's an interesting take. That can
Yeah.
also go a different way too, because let's say the Kabuki Warriors are in it and they do take the Bella's place, or they just add them in the mix.
Hmm.
I see Kyrie Sane getting pinned, like the scenario with Alexa Bliss, and
Hmm.
having Oscar flip out on her, and then finally Kyrie Sane loses it,
Yeah.
and this flips out on Oscar, and then eventually they start having a feud 1-on-1, and then the next tag team could be Kyrie Sane can go back with Io Sky.
Yeah. That would be cool. I mean, I would
Yeah,
ultimately like to see a triple threat: Io, Asuka, and Kyrie. That should be on the Mania card regardless.
that'd be a
But
crazy match, man.
that would be a
A
great
lot of
match.
high flying going on with that one, my friend.
And I
A,
mean,
a
the
lot.
past couple WrestleManias with triple threat matches, they've been unbelievable. Every single triple threat match in the past couple years has been great, and I feel
Yeah,
like that would be awesome too. But you can't leave EO off this card. I also for another match's sake, I hope the Bellas are good because if the
yeah.
Bellas are good, that means they do EO versus
Twin
Asuka.
Magic. They can work all their gimmicks that they used to do. I mean,
Yeah,
back in the day, they used to one would roll into the ring and come back. You can't do that anymore because they don't look exactly identical anymore.
no,
But it's an interesting take. I mean, I say the Bellas are going to go over if they're in the match, and
Mhm.
if they're not, I don't know, man. The irresistible forces. Me personally, I'm an old school fan of heels. I like
Mhm.
watching the faces chase the heels like for like month in and month out trying to get that title
Yeah,
because that way you don't get the title. They keep coming back and the fans keep coming back.
Mhm.
Back in the days in the AWA, you had the Rockers. They were known as the Midnight Rockers back in the day.
Mhm.
Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Quick story, and they would wrestle um, Playboy Buddy Rose and I think Doug Summers. And these guys, they would go back and forth. And every time you thought the Rockers were going to go over, they didn't. Same as Hogan going after Nick Bockwinkel back in the days in AWA.
Mhm.
This a little bit before your time, but you were
Yeah,
probably a kid at the time. But Hogan, much bigger, much more athletic. Bockwinkel, the champ, he'd get the shit beat out of him, but at the end, he'd always keep the title. I'm an old
yeah.
school fan of that. So,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it would be cool to see the Bellas win the titles, but if they're not in the mix, I want to see the Irresistible Forces keep the titles. Like you said earlier, having Alexa Bliss eat the fall, causing her and Charlotte to lose. Charlotte goes to help her up, kind of like a Paul Orndorff Hulk Hogan, give the short arm
Mhm.
clothesline, give
Yeah,
some kind of Pearl Harbor job, beat her ass down, turn fucking heel, and then the WrestleMania rewind, whatever they're going to call the next pay per view.
Mhm.
have Charlotte go up against Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I mean, because I love what they've been doing with Charlotte.
Yeah.
They kind of revitalized her a little bit because fans were starting to get sick of her. Of
Just feels like
the
it's
constant.
forced. It feels
Yeah,
very
it felt
phony to me.
forced. So,
Yeah.
oh, you're saying this feels forced?
Charlotte Flair as a face when she comes out touching hands to the fans and this whole fucking heart, everything
Yeah.
combined annoys the shit out of me. I
No,
love Charlotte Flair
no,
as a heel. That's
no,
it.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. But I will say I do like the little character refresh. Even though it feels a little forced, it kind of opened the eyes of fans that couldn't stand her in general. They just felt like she was getting shoved down everybody's throats, winning 14 titles. People were getting sick of that. So to
Yeah.
kind of like give it a gap and like have a little period where she's going after the tag titles, she wins the tag titles. It kind of when she gets back into the main event scene, they're like, all right, well now it's new competitors again. It's not
Right.
the
No,
same
that
three
makes
people.
sense. I hear what you're saying because she was kind of force fed, and
Yeah.
every time she came back, she was like you said, she was in the title picture.
Mhm.
So it was getting old. But having them
Yeah.
as tag team champions would be interesting, or even have them go over in the match. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but another scenario would be have Charlotte and Alexa Bliss win the championships,
Mhm.
defend a couple of months. Something happens in one of the matches, causing whatever causes them to lose the titles.
Yeah.
Then you could do the heel turn there too. There's multiple ways
Yeah.
of doing a heel turn with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss.
hmm They've been like slow. They've been slow burning it. So at this point,
Yeah.
anything will be a good pop.
They've been teasing that, and also side note, the Motor City Machine Guns. They've been a tag team for years.
Oh yeah.
I worked with them years ago when I was in the
Mhm.
biz. I hate to see these guys break up. I mean, I've been watching lately, and I see the whole thing with Johnny Gargano, and
Mhm.
he's like laying out planking because of Tommaso Ciampa leaving. He's all depressed. I get it; it's a good storyline. But now his wife is talking to like the Motor City Machine Guns. So, Alex. I think Alex Shelley's is the one she's talking to, and it looks
Mhm.
like there's going to be some kind of riff
Yeah.
between them, and I hope it doesn't happen. But anyway, let's get on to the next match. We got the women's IC championship match, and holy shit, do I have a lot to say about this? So I'm sorry, I am going first. You
No,
got
it's
the
all you.
you got the current champ AJ Lee against Becky Lynch. Now listen, not to be a hater, it's nice that AJ Lee's back. Okay, she's with her husband, as Roman Reigns would put it, Phil. She's with CM Punk. It's all good, but I am sick and tired. What is so fucking fun about watching a 90-pound nothing skip to the ring, acting like she's a fucking threat because supposedly she's mental and she's chemically imbalanced? When she made the return, when Becky Lynch was still the IC champion, she had that look of, holy shit, I'm scared to death. What is it to be scared of a 90-pound girl skipping down the fucking ring? Bro, I take bigger shits than the size of this girl. Okay, that's first of all. Second of all, her being the IC champ to me is a joke because the title weighs more than her. But anyway, I digress. This match, I listen. I know why they're doing it. It's a ratings pop. In the beginning, it was her and Seth against AJ Lee and CM Punk. It's battle of the sexes and the couples and whatever. Bottom line is,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I love Becky Lynch's character. Love her as a heel. The only thing I don't like is I don't like the paranoid version of her. I'm sick of her saying over and over again that, oh, I'm the greatest. Sports Illustrated saying this. Just go back to being an ass kicking heel. She
Yeah.
became the man on a pure mistake. When Nia Jax busted her nose and she bled like a stuffed pig, that shouldn't have happened. It did. She capitalized on it. I was happy she did. Great gimmick, and they let her, run with it. Because a lot of
Mhm.
wrestlers come up with their own gimmicks, like Rusev Day. They didn't let him
Yeah.
do it. Becky Lynch, they let her do it. Now,
Mhm.
AJ's had a nice little run as IC champ. Good for you. It's time to relinquish the title, give it back to big time Bex. Becky Lynch goes over at WrestleMania.
So this is I'm glad you went first because I'm gonna disagree a little bit.
Go
You
ahead.
know,
No
AJ.
such
I
thing
mean,
as a little bit, kid. Either you disagree or you don't with Brooklyn
no.
Jones. Let's
Okay,
just
so
get that
I
straight.
so I disagree. I mean,
Okay.
granted, AJ Lee coming back, I think it's great. They've been chanting for her for 10 years. However, I will say, as even though she's come back, she's not the same as what she used to be. She used to be a great
A
promo.
lot
Now
better.
I feel
A
like
lot better.
she used to be so much better
Yeah.
back then. When she was like a monster heel, or a monster heel. Even though, like you say, she's 90 pounds, but she was like a crazy.
But
She
being a
knew how to
heel
cut a promo.
makes it up for the size. Now being all
Yeah.
goody
Oh,
goody two
100%.
shoes as a 90 pounder, what the fuck am I
Yeah.
scared of?
No, 100%. And like I
Go
feel
ahead.
like a lot of her promos now are just like really cringe, and it's like it feels forced. But I will say I am glad she's back. You know, a lot of wrestlers, her really cringy catchphrase, "I'm your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler." I mean, it is kind of true though. I think it's just kind of cringe
You're looking
and
for the
like,
dream matches for her to wrestle
yeah,
girls that
that's
she's
what it
never
is.
wrestled.
I
Okay.
think I would like to see her continue with the belt. I mean, they're not going to put her in the world title scene. I think Becky deserves to be back in the world title scene. I think
Becky's full
making her,
time. AJ Lee is not. See, that's where it bothers me. AJ Lee can have a whole slew of matches against new crop talent. You don't
mm.
need the title to wrestle that whole crop of talent. Give
Oh,
it
I
to
completely agree. But
okay.
I feel like making the mid card title, Becky giving it to her for the third time, because this would be her third reign with the title. So I just think it'd be kind of, pointless considering you could push her back into she's one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time.
All
And
right, so if
you're leaving
Becky
her in the
Lynch,
mid
not to
card.
cut you off, but if
You're
Becky
good.
Lynch doesn't win the title and AJ Lee remains champ, who does she wrestle in the future and who does she drop the title to eventually if it's not big time Bex?
So I see her wrestling a couple of the mid card women like who do you got on Raw? Like Ivy Nile. I ultimately see her dropping it to Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is, they need to put her in a notable feud. She's kind of just been a lackey for both Liv Morgan and Raquel. She's an extremely talented wrestler, and they need to showcase that. And I feel like giving her the mid card title would be perfect. And what better way than putting her over against her favorite wrestler of all time, somebody who like got her into the business. Like she's the AJ Lee's the reason Roxanne started wrestling. So giving her the title would be such
Student
it
versus
really put her
teacher.
over.
Hmm.
It would really passing of the torch type of feel. So I feel like keeping the title on AJ Lee would be perfect up until I don't know. I don't want to say SummerSlam because
SummerSlam?
I mean, I think that's ultimately where it's going to be. I
Yeah.
just hate the Triple H booking of, and he's been getting better at this lately, where the titles only really get changed at the big four pay-per-views. He's been getting better with it, but when he first started booking, it's like only the guys were winning at Mania or SummerSlam. So ultimately, it's going to be SummerSlam, but I want to see, a Backlash or a Clash in Italy. Like a title change at a lesser pay per view makes these must see instead of I can miss Backlash, I can miss Clash in Italy. I'll just wait for SummerSlam when she loses the title.
Yeah,
So
but however, not to cut you off, but if Becky Lynch loses at WrestleMania, this will be the third or fourth time that AJ Lee has either pinned her or made her tap. How much more weaker are you going to make Becky Lynch look when she's supposed to be the man, big time Bex? And I'm not shitting on AJ Lee by any stretch of the imagination because
yeah.
her first run was great. Her versus Paige were great matches. She
Mhm.
wrestled a ton of talent back in the day. She came back. She can still go pretty good. Her first bump she took, I thought she was going to break her back in half. It looked like a really
Yeah.
vicious bump.
Yeah.
But the whole promos back and forth, like you said, I'll use your words, cringeworthy, 100%.
Mhm.
But, and I, listen, I am not putting down mental health by any choice, by any stretch of the imagination, because unfortunately it's a real thing. But to
Yeah.
bring it into a promo, to me, there's a time and place for everything. And it's like, if you're suffering from that, I feel bad. I have a heart. I'm not that fucking,
Mm.
I don't have a black heart. But the bottom line
Yeah.
is, you're cutting a promo. Let's keep it to wrestling 101 basics. And because when she went, yeah, who's for, this and that, and everybody's like, you
Yeah.
hear the crickets. It's
Yeah.
like a stand up comedian's worst nightmare. You're doing
Yeah.
stand up comedy and you hear fucking crickets.
Well, then
And which,
it also I'm sorry to cut you off, but it
no,
also
go
makes
ahead.
you look like it also makes you look weaker. I mean, trust me, I'm a huge like
That's the
advocate for
thing. Right. That's my
mental
point.
health and everything. I'm
Yeah.
a huge advocate for it. But like when you mention it in wrestling, and it just makes you look weak. And not to say people who suffer from that are
Yeah.
weak, because that's farthest from the truth. But when you're you're wrestling, and sometimes I would even say like admitting it makes you stronger. But in the sense of wrestling, I just
Yeah.
think it's not needed. It's
Right.
not
And if
needed
I'm
at all.
Becky Lynch, I mean, now today, you can't be a true heel like you did back in the day because everybody gets offended with everything nowadays.
Yeah.
If I'm Becky Lynch and AJ Lee's talking about mental health, not that I would make fun of it or tease her, But in
Mhm.
my promos, I would use it as an advantage,
Yeah,
and I found a weakness in my competitor.
completely agree.
So with
I
this
completely
match, I mean, it's a lot. It's a hard pill to swallow. You don't know who's going to go over, who's going to lose, but you got a good point with AJ Lee keeping the title. Now, as far as Roxanne Perez being the next challenger, we need to see a lot of shit happen in the Judgment Day. And I think they gave a tease last week, and I'm going to get to this in a minute on the next match.
Yeah.
When Roxanne Perez was talking to Liv Morgan in the back before Stephanie Vacura had that hit from behind when they cracked heads together, which we're going to
Yeah.
get into, which it was
Yeah.
vicious. The key words prior to that banging of the heads,
Mhm.
Liv Morgan said to Roxanne Perez, listen, I know Finn brought you into the Judgment Day, and we have to address the elephant in the room. I don't know how you feel about it, but he turned his back on us, blah blah blah. So that
Mhm.
could be the beginning of the cracks
Yeah.
of having beef between Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan.
Absolutely.
See, unfortunately, it was just a small tidbit because that fucking cracking of the heads, it just killed the whole tease of them
Yeah.
two having beef with each other.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
and,
it completely overlooks it because
and
now
you
people on social media are like, "Oh, wow, they cracked heads," and they're not talking about, "Oh, they were about to like beef a
right
little bit."
now, me personally, and I'm going to get into the next match because this has a lot to do with it. I would use the banging of the heads as part of the storyline. So the next
Mhm.
match at WrestleMania Night One, you have the current women's champion Stephanie Vacura going against, as we just mentioned, Liv Morgan.
Mhm.
Now, my take on this is very interesting because when they were talking about the cracks with the whole Judgment Day with Finn Balor leaving, blah blah blah, and now that Liv Morgan banged into Roxanne Perez can stay and remain the heel, take it out on Liv for her banging into her. Meanwhile, it was Stephanie Vacura who pushed her.
Yeah.
But if you do this storyline, again, me with the creative pen,
Yeah.
if I'm booking this, I'm gonna have Liv Morgan go over, become the new women's champ, maybe give Stephanie Vacura a rematch, not have her win. Liv Morgan remains champ eventually.
Mhm.
That sets up a program with her and Roxanne Perez, not
Yeah.
AJ Lee and Roxanne Perez. I didn't want to steal your thunder earlier. I see what you were saying with the other scenario, but
Yeah.
in this match, if Roxanne Perez is a factor in the match,
Mhm.
and if Liv Morgan is cleared to wrestle because there's concussion protocols, hopefully she'll
Yeah.
be cleared because these two,
Mhm.
I mean, the way they've been going at it, Vacura and Liv Morgan, you would think they fucking legit hated each other. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
even before the cracking of the heads, which was a complete, accident, but the vicious beatdowns, Stephanie Vacura came out from behind, cracked Liv Morgan in the back of the head on the ramp 2 weeks ago.
Mhm. Yeah.
The exchange between the two, it makes you believe that these two got fucking legit beef with each other. And you know
Yeah.
what? It suspends you as a fan in disbelief to think this is real. I know
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
fake, but holy shit, these two got beef with each other. Now
Mhm.
with the banging of the heads, only and only if Roxanne Perez makes an appearance at WrestleMania in Liv Morgan's corner, there will be a distraction. There will be some kind of problem. Liv Morgan will go over and win the title, but
Mhm.
eventually there's going to be cracks in the foundation between Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, which will set up a program in the future.
Yeah.
I call
So,
Liv Morgan new champion. Or there's one small thing I'm going to say before I let you go.
mhm.
Let's just say Stephanie Vacure remains the champ. This is how it's going to happen. This is fucking out of left field. Dominic Mysterio is going to come out
Mhm.
acting like he's helping Liv Morgan. The way he turned on Rhea Ripley to be with Liv, he's going to
Yeah.
do it to Liv Morgan to be with Stephanie Vacure because of the whole Spanish interaction, with the way they speak with each other, the whole lingo,
Yeah.
causing a double switch. Vacure turns heel, Liv Morgan becomes face because Dominic has a say in it. That's just an outside maybe. My
Yeah.
my 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 main one is what I said earlier with Roxanne Perez becoming a
Mhm.
distraction and Liv Morgan going over. I just like that second scenario because if I was booking it, that's how I would book it.
Yeah. You
I
want
would
like a
have Vacure
crazy.
go over, keep the title. Dominic turns on Liv Morgan, and that could be the total or beginning breakup of the Judgment Day because eventually they're just going to part ways. They need to go
Yeah.
on their own. JD McDonough, he can feud with Finn Balor after Dominic Mysterio. Then he can go on his own.
Mhm.
Roxanne Perez, she can go on her own. And Raquel Rodriguez needs to step up as a big woman, like a female version of Kevin Nash, because he's the one
Mhm.
that told her you got to be a big person. Ever since then, she's been dressing up like him, going out, acting like a big heel. Remain that way and be solo. But
Yeah.
that's
No,
my
I
take. It's all yours.
so I agree with the winner. I agree Liv Morgan is going to win. However, I could see a different path, past Mania. And then I'll kind of talk about how this feud has been shaping up. But I see Liv winning, and then I don't see it against. Roxanne. I see it against Raquel. They've been kind of building that
Yeah.
tension a little bit. She's like, "Oh, let me talk to Roxanne by myself." Like, kind of get out of the room. They've been kind of building that cracks ever since Liv's coming back, and kind of siding with Roxanne more. So I could see them going Liv versus Raquel. And like you said, they've been building Raquel as this like big monster heel, like this powerhouse. She's been massively improved. I could definitely see her as a world champ, and I could see her beating Liv at some point. But kind of talking about this feud, the current feud, I saw this when Liv won the Rumble. I kind of saw this as a throwaway. I'm like, oh, how are they going to build this? This doesn't really make sense. This is just a Royal Rumble winner going after a champion. But this has ultimately been one of the better builds for the like the world titles. You got obviously the WWE Championship. I don't like that build, and I don't like the women's World Championship feud
Too
with
many titles, but go ahead.
oh yeah, with what's her name with Rhea and Jade Cargill. I don't like that build either. I think they're both a little like overforced or whatever.
There's
But
a
this
reason for
feud,
that build. When we get to that match later, I'm going to tell you why Rhea Ripley was put into place. But
yeah,
go
oh
ahead.
yeah, but at the end of the day, I think they've really made this a blood feud, and I'm excited to see how this match is gonna shape out. They're both two great wrestlers. It's ultimately gonna be a fantastic like classic. But like I said, I think Liv's going to go over, and then it's ultimately going to build to, like you said, the eruption of the Judgment Day. You found the first crack with Finn Balor leaving. It's ultimately once you crack it, it's going to crumble, and that was the first piece. And I think the next piece is Liv winning the title, and then there kind of
Right.
being inner feuds between the three girls in the Judgment Day. So I'm going to go with Liv on this one, but an ultimately different path past Mania.
So does Liv win clean, or is there outside interference?
You know, I think ultimately there's going to be outside interference, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be fairly clean. Like they're going to kind of
Really? You
get
think it's
involved.
wow? I totally disagree with that. But go
I
ahead.
think they're going to get involved a little bit, but
Have to.
ultimately Liv deserves her moment on her own. She's from,
But if
NXT,
she's
she was
staying a heel, you
yeah.
need that heel momentum. You need that whole heel build. Having your hench woman, not
Yeah.
henchman, obviously, have
Yeah.
your hench woman Roxanne Perez be a factor.
Oh no, she's absolutely going to be a factor, but
Yeah.
ultimately something's going to knock her out of it, and then Liv's going to go over.
And if she
Like
is a
I don't,
factor, I can see Liv Morgan grabbing Stephanie Vicure by the ropes, doing that like DDT version she does off the rope and
yeah,
knocking her out. And that would be the way she goes over. Outside
oh for sure.
interference, hook Vicure, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I mean,
Simple
there's
booking.
Roxanne's definitely going to get involved, but I don't think she's going to factor into the finish, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
Like she'll be there, she'll make something like do something, but ultimately Liv's going to go over fairly clean. She deserves her moment. She's been the
She worked
MVP of the
very
women's
hard. That I
division.
have to say.
She's been an MVP of the women's division for the
Yeah.
past 2-3 years now. So
Had
I
she
I
not
think
have
she's
gotten injured, she would have been a champ a lot sooner. Or a
exactly.
2-time
So
champ. Yeah.
yeah, well she's about to be 2 time. She's
Yeah,
about to win
well,
it.
we'll see. And speaking of championships, we're going to close out night one with the WWE Undisputed Championship. Your current champ, which a lot of people are currently booing, which I happen to love. Cody Rhodes, your current champ, going against. Wait a minute. Do you hear that? I hear voices. That's right. Against RKO Randy Orton, my 2009 version, who I love so much. The guy that would punt heads, kick ass, and take names. He's finally back. Now, my take on this match, which one part I don't like, I see in this match, I see Jelly Roll being in Cody Rhodes' corner,
Mhm.
and then I see Pat McAfee, which I happen to like, being in Randy Orton's corner. Here's the deal. They're building and building this about how having Randy Orton be a 15-time champ, because obviously he's going to chase John Cena. John Cena
Oh,
currently is a 17-time champ. He
mhm.
holds the record. He said it himself, Cena. I want to meet the guy that beats me, that beats my record. Now, Orton, he's signed on for a few more years. He's healthy. His back is okay. So I can see him surpassing the 17. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him. Can't be
Oh, for
Triple
sure.
H. He's retired. Him and Triple H currently are tied 14 each.
Mhm.
So with Orton winning this match, I could see him being a 15-time champ. However, the thing that bothers me is the outside interference between both Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll. Listen,
Yeah.
no disrespect to Jelly Roll. I love the dude. I give him credit because he lost all that weight. He's a hard worker. He's a huge fan. But when you put Jelly Roll in a tag match, you can protect him. You put him on a one-on-one, it's an embarrassment. I mean,
Yeah.
he can barely bump. But getting back to the match, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, Pat McAfee said something that's sticking to my head. If Randy Orton does not win, you'll never see me again.
Hmm.
That's the big threat. Pat McAfee is a big name on social media. He's a big presence in WWE. Love him or hate him, he gets a reaction. When I used to work in the wrestling companies, the first thing you're taught is there's no such thing as a bad reaction.
Hmm.
You hear crickets, it's not good. Someone boos you, tells you you suck, or fucking cheers your name and loves you, that's a reaction. So for Pat
Yeah.
McAfee to threaten that he'll never be back again, to me, the writing's on the wall.
Hmm.
I see Randy Orton going over. I see him beating Cody Rhodes. If I'm booking it, again, creative pen,
Yeah.
I would have Cody Rhodes chase Randy Orton as a champ.
Hmm.
But now here's the thing. At the time, they said, oh, who's on the phone with Randy Orton? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Supposedly, it's Pat McAfee.
Hmm.
Now, Brooklyn Zone's gremlins are telling him that the person that Orton was actually speaking to was Vinnie Mac, Vince McMahon. There's a lot
Yeah.
of fucking rumblings going on that Vince McMahon's showing up at WrestleMania. Now,
Hmm.
not for nothing, as an old school fan, as a guy who just turned heel, I would love to see Vince come back because I'm an old school fan.
Yeah.
Vince will slip at 80 years old. The dude would pop ratings. You would
Hmm.
get a fucking ton of holy shit chants for a good 4 or 5 minutes. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
But who do I want to see win? Randy Orton. Who do I hope wins? Randy Orton. What makes sense? Randy Orton. Cody's now a
Yeah.
three-time champion. He just got the title from McIntyre. He does not need the title. But
Hmm.
also, there could be a possible double switch, meaning the fans are already cheering for Orton. They're booing Cody left and
Yeah.
right. If you
Hmm.
remember WrestleMania 18, Hogan and The Rock, Hogan came in as NWO Hollywood
Yeah.
and he came out red and yellow. They went crazy for Hogan, turned on The Rock. Same shit can happen in this match. And there's another
Yeah.
match
It's
I'm going to
very
talk
true.
about after in night two that I see the same thing happening.
Hmm.
But my take is Randy Orton is your 15-time champ. Whether or not Pat McAfee, intrudes in the match, which I think he will be a distraction. I think him and Jelly Roll are going to have an exchange and make the crowd pop. But I think it's safe to say Pat McAfee can take out Jelly Roll, be a factor in having Orton go over. Randy Orton, not only your not only your new heavyweight champion, but your 15-time champion. Two more to go to tie, three to be the number one guy.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh, so I've been waiting this whole time to talk about this match because I got a lot to say about this shit
Listen,
because
it's my podcast. I'm listening. We got time. Go ahead.
so first off, the amount of history that Cody and Randy have together, legacy,
Legacy.
all this stuff together. There was no need for any outside interference. There was no need for Pat McAfee.
None.
There was no need for Jelly Roll. Ari Emanuel has inserted too many celebrities into too many high level feuds. The reason, like I was saying earlier, why I like Speed in that match with Logan Paul and Theory against the Usos LA Knight, because it makes sense. It's logical to the story. Speed and Logan Paul, they know each other. Speed was in the Prime Bottle at WrestleMania 40, which I was at. Um, he was so they have
Shout
history
out.
together. So yeah, no, one of the greatest. I've been to 3 WrestleManias. That was the best one I've ever been to. It was unbelievable. But that logically makes sense. Throwing Pat McAfee with Randy Orton makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, Pat McAfee, yes, he has experience in the business. He was a commentator on Raw. He's wrestled a couple matches. He was in NXT, leading a faction. Like him being around makes sense, but inserting him into this random, not random, him being in it is random, into one of the most anticipated feuds of the last 5 years since Cody Rhodes has been back. When he won the title at WrestleMania 40, the first thing people said is, "Oh, when's he gonna fight Randy Orton? We want to see Cody versus Randy." We don't need Pat McAfee in this. We don't need Jelly Roll in this. Like
Absolutely not.
they're just rehashing last year's Mania with Travis Scott and John Cena. You have Travis Scott on John Cena's side going against Cody. Ultimately, Travis Scott helps John Cena win, which was very,
But
very
that's my
stupid.
point. Not to cut you off, Travis
No, you're
Scott,
good. You're
guys
good.
like him should have never have been in this type of a match. Okay, I show speed, whatever his name is. I get
Yeah,
it. He was the prime bottle guy. He got speared in the middle of the ring, I think, by
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker, right? Yeah, his head
Yeah,
snapped back. I get
yeah.
it. There's some kind of history with that. So
Mhm.
that maybe I can allow to let go. But
Yeah,
everything else, like one thing I'm going to say, and I'll give you the floor.
yeah,
In the build to the guy that Orton was talking about, he said to Cody, Orton, wrestling has more than one royal family. That's part of
yeah.
Cody Rhodes' music. What the
Mhm.
fuck does Pat McAfee have to do with a royal
Exactly,
family? That's why
exactly.
I'm telling you it's a swerve.
Well, it could be, and you know
It's
why?
not Orton that was on the phone, but I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
You're good. Why would Stephanie McMahon come out? What does Stephanie McMahon have to do with this feud? Why on Raw she comes to talk to Cody?
But I
Why?
like that compared to all the other shit because
Well,
that's
no, I
out of
know it.
nowhere, and she's part of royal family. She's a
Well, that's
McMahon. I
that's
mean,
what I'm
come
saying.
on,
Like, it very well could be
you
Vince
know?
McMahon,
Yeah,
which would be insane, by the way. After everything that's come out, I think, you know what I think it was? It very well could have been Vince McMahon, but like a couple of days before the McAfee unveil, I think like new allegations came out in the
yeah,
lawsuit. They
yep.
probably got a little bit of cold feet, so they pulled back and they said, "All right, we had McAfee, let's just use him." Like it could have been so many different people on the phone that would have made sense. It could have been Arn Anderson. It could have been, Vince McMahon. It could have been Shane McMahon.
Shane
It could have been
McMahon. Yep.
it could have been anybody. Where it makes sense with the royal family. Arn Anderson had, his
Arn would have
son was
been
wrestling.
great because he was always in Cody's corner.
Exactly. Like the writing was on the wall.
Even
I
Ric
don't have the
Flair
pen, but if I had the pen, it was going to be Arn Anderson. Imagine the shock. The
on
guy
Cody
that
Rhodes'
makes
face. Yeah,
Cody's face to be like, oh, the guy that turned Randy back into '09 Orton was, a guy that just like trained me that I'm like super close with, who's close with my father.
but
It
think
makes
about it. He was
so
close
much.
with Dusty, but they used to feud when he was part of the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Arn
Oh yeah.
Anderson, they used
Oh
to beat
yeah.
the living shit out of Dusty. So that
Yeah.
story it writes itself.
Oh
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So like
Yeah,
Arn being that guy would have been phenomenal. It would have made so much sense. But they went out because Ari Emanuel for some reason thinks Pat McAfee is the next Sylvester Stallone. He literally said that in an interview. He thinks he's the next Stallone. He inserts him into one of the most anticipated feuds in the past 5 years and
right.
completely derails the story. 4 weeks ago, when Randy ultimately turned and he left Cody bloody, right? That was the perfect start to the feud, and if they kept going with that, it would have been fantastic. But then no, they had
You
to
have to
throw
insert
Jelly Roll
people.
in it.
Yeah.
They had to insert Pat McAfee. Like at this point, I don't even want this to main event. I want this to open the show.
Well,
Put Oba and Brock in the main event.
it's funny you
Like,
mentioned about opening the show because I went through the list of matches just now for night one. The
yeah,
way it's listed on Google, shout out
hmm
to google.com,
yeah,
the last match is listed that we're talking about now is it's
mhm,
reverse. The
yeah,
last match that we're talking about is listed as the first match.
yeah,
The match before this match we discussed is a second and so forth. So
hmm
what I did was I flipped it
yeah,
and made the Logan Paul Austin Theory I Show Speed against the Usos and LA Knight the first match because
yeah.
that's not going to headline night one
Oh,
obviously. So I
yeah,
just flipped the order.
yeah.
But the thing is,
Like,
like you're saying, oh, they could have opened the match. The only thing I'm going to say is, and I'll let you close out night one before we get to night two. Personally, I'm an old school guy. Too many titles are involved in wrestling.
correct.
Okay.
You're completely correct.
One champion shows on both programs, one
Hmm
tag team champion, both programs. IC champion wait, on the bottom there. That
hmm
makes sense. That's your stepping stone to the heavyweight title. There should be one set of titles. It has more meaning. When you fucking expand the titles and have multiple titles, it weakens and gives it lesser meaning. A
Correct.
title in wrestling is like a promotion in work. Say you started off at Bagel Boy. Another shout out to Bagel Boy. You started out, let's say you were a 16-year-old kid. You were sweeping the floors for your dad, doing this, doing that. Little by little, you move up the ranks. Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing in wrestling. Okay. You get a title, you're promoted, you're the goodwill ambassador. You're the one who's presenting the brand. You're the guy on Jimmy Kimmel, Conan O'Brien, and all the other shows promoting WWE. I got a WWE title and I got the big gold title.
Yeah.
Who's better? You're both champs? No, to me, that's bullshit.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
One title, one champ for all three.
Yeah.
Finish off night one. That's my rant.
So ultimate, no, you're good. I just this match has got me very passionate just because of how like infuriating it is, and
Yeah,
how
what all the outside.
how
When you say infuriating, you're referring to all the outside interference with all these
yes,
extra jelly roll guys, Pat McAfee's, etc.
yes, and
Okay,
even if it was like people in WWE, like non-celebrities inserting themselves, I would have been annoyed because there's so much history between these two. That's all you
the
need.
story writes
That the
itself.
writing was on the wall, and you just had to insert Pat McAfee because your tickets are way too expensive, and people don't want to buy them because it's $900 to sit in the nosebleeds. Like when I went to WrestleMania 40, I spent I think like 650 on both nights combined. Granted, I was in the nosebleeds,
That's
but
a
I
lot of
I
money,
paid,
man.
yeah, but like
Uh,
$900 for one night in the nosebleeds. Who's paying for that?
yeah,
Thinking Pat McAfee's gonna be that X factor that's gonna make me say, "Oh, this great feud was, this is a great feud, but I
this
don't
is
want
why
to
I'm
buy
gonna watch
tickets."
because of Pat
Oh,
McAfee.
holy
No,
shit, Pat McAfee's in it. Now I have to buy
right,
tickets.
right.
It's
Now
like,
I'm gonna go run
what
to
is?
Ticketmaster. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it
I
makes
see your
no
point. Yeah.
sense.
But
Like
the
in
one
an
thing
Ari
Pat
Emanuel's
McAfee, right? But the one thing Pat McAfee did say, which I did like, he's saying, "I'm bringing back the old school wrestling. I want to bring back the Attitude Era. I want to bring
yeah,
back some edge." Listen, maybe it was a short time. The Attitude Era was not as long as everybody thinks it was. It was only a few years.
yeah,
But me growing up, I always tell people on my podcast, fans in '77. So I was a fan back in the days when it was just smoky bingo halls. Then in
yeah,
the '80s, it was very cartoonish.
mhm,
'90s Attitude Era, early 2000s ruthless aggression, and so on and so forth.
yeah,
Out of all the eras in wrestling, the Attitude Era for me was right up there in the golden age in the '80s of the Hogans, the Warriors, the Savages.
mhm,
All those guys, to me, the Attitude Era was just as great, if not better, because of the edge, bringing
mhm,
the realism to wrestling, and kicking the living shit out of WCW. Which one of
yeah,
these days we'll have another podcast. We'll talk about
yeah.
that.
Sounds
But
good.
okay, great. The whole thing is, that's the one thing I like about Pat McAfee inserting himself into the storyline. He should be part of it, like you said, because the story writes itself with legacy.
Yeah,
But to be this big cheerleader for Randy Orton, but given the reasons why, that's the only thing that I enjoyed. But other than that, stay the fuck away.
yeah.
Let these two guys settle their beef. The only outside interference I would love to see, but a lot of fans today wouldn't get it. You
Ted
might because you're
DiBiase.
a fan. Ted DiBiase
Yeah,
Jr. coming in
he just
because
got
he
cleared
was
of
a
all his charges.
yeah. Well, I mean, the story writes itself. He
Yeah,
got cleared because, like his father always said, everybody has a price. Have
yeah,
him come out and either be the deciding factor of who he joins, or
yeah,
maybe in the future we get another legacy revamp. Who knows?
yeah,
But Pat McAfee and especially Jelly Roll, again, no disrespect to Jelly Roll. It's not that I don't like the guy.
yeah.
It's just that, like they were talking about on Busted Open. Bully Ray said it best. I like Jelly Roll and I like Pat
Mhm.
McAfee. I just don't see the interaction making sense.
It makes zero sense.
And I agree with him.
Yeah.
I just happen to agree with him. But if you have nothing else, unless you want to put a pin in it, I'm going to get
Yeah,
to
I
night
mean,
two. Go ahead.
funny enough, I got so deep into it, I never even said who was gonna win.
Okay. Oh, so you know what?
Yeah, no,
Keep
I
going.
just got
Who do you?
so
My bad.
passionate. But
Go
I
ahead.
think, I mean, ultimately, like you said, Pat McAfee said, if Randy loses, I'm never showing up again. Like I said, Ori Emanuel thinks this guy's Stallone for some reason. I love Pat McAfee, like outside of wrestling, but he's no Stallone. Nobody's Stallone's Stallone.
He's Logan
So
Paul without
ultimately,
muscles, like Cody said. But go ahead.
yeah. So I mean, ultimately, they're not gonna shoo him away. So Randy's gonna win. They're gonna give Randy's one last hurrah. I don't think he's gonna break 17, but I think
Never
he
say
has
never, my
one.
man. Never say
What?
never. Never say never.
No, I mean never say never. I completely agree with that. But ultimately, I think this is his last hurrah as like the champ. Because then at that point, once he loses the title, I think he's going to put over a lot of younger talent. He's already put over a couple in the past couple years. But at the end of the day, I do think it's going to be Randy. There, the writing's on the wall. Unfortunately, they're rehashing last year's build, and then even to SummerSlam because now it's going to be Cody. Cody's going to be chasing Randy. No outside interference. And they're just going to have a great match, and then Cody's going to win it back at SummerSlam. They're going to do the same thing as they did last year. I think it's lazy storytelling, but I digress. It's ultimately going to be Randy that wins it all.
Okay. I give you that. I'm not a
Yeah,
fan of TKO owning WWE.
Same here.
For the simple fact with Ariel and Manny, they're all about, excuse me, they're all about actors and all these outside people joining. I heard a rumor before I get to night two. I don't know how true it is. I got to look into it. Allegedly, supposedly, Vince McMahon is looking to get financial backing from the Saudis. Now, I don't know how that's going to go now with all the shit going on in the world. But
Yeah.
at the time, if he was going to get financially backed and
Hmm.
he bought back WWE,
Yeah.
all this shit that these entertainers, all these wrestlers said about Vince McMahon, like, once he was no longer in the mix,
Yeah.
now all of a sudden they got the balls to say, oh, he was this and he was that. It was
Yeah.
horrible. Michael Cole says, oh, he's always yelling in my ear. Now I have all this freedom. They spoke all this shit about him as soon as he was
Mhm.
no longer the boss. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if somehow by some crazy opportunity and chance, Vince McMahon came back? The first thing I would do if I was Vince, tell his son-in-law Trips goodbye,
Yeah.
tell
Oh,
his
yeah.
daughter goodbye, because now from what I'm understanding, him and Shane O'Mac have a better relationship. Vince
I
can't
would
be
hope
around
so.
forever, right?
Yeah.
Let's say he buys the company back. Shane O'Mac comes with him. I can see Shane McMahon running WWE in the future. You need to have a McMahon, whether it's Stephanie, Shane, Vince, or one of their grandkids one of these days. You need a
Yeah.
McMahon running the company because back in the day, it was family owned. Yeah, they went publicly traded, but at the same time, it was still McMahon owned. Now
Yeah.
that TKO Sports has it, it's just another business, and all it
Yeah.
is glitz and glam, bringing in all these stars. Yeah, okay, I saw the first WrestleMania in 1985. You had Liberace, you had Billy Martin, Muhammad Ali, but it was in a
Mhm.
minimal role just to get people to say,
Yeah.
"Holy shit, what's Billy Martin doing there? Holy shit!"
Yeah.
It was different. It wasn't like Billy Martin was in a 6-man tag match.
Mhm.
It's to me, it's absurd what they're doing today, and I
Yeah.
would
I
personally
completely
love
agree.
to see a McMahon take over WWE again and get back to basics because right now it's just like it's a freak show, it's a circus show.
Yeah.
Just my just
It's
That's just my opinion.
You know what it feels like? I mean, I wasn't around to watch it, but I've seen clips, and I'm like a historian at this point when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah,
I like watch all the old stuff. It's starting to kind of feel like WCW in like 2000, right before they got bought out by WWE, with like Arquette winning
that's
the
what
title.
scares me. Yeah,
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's
yeah.
like it's starting to feel that way because you have Pat McAfee, not Randy Orton walking out last night on SmackDown with the title. You have
Pat
Pat McAfee
McAfee's.
with it.
That's a great
With
point you just brought up because I
it's like
forgot to
it
bitch
feels like
about that.
Arquette. It
Yeah,
feels like Arquette. Like it
right.
feels like it's starting to just be a joke,
It's like what's
and I'm
he
scared
doing
for
with
that.
Cody's title? If I'm fucking Randy Orton, I would have taken the title, walk off with it, and say, "Hey, it's not officially mine, but I might as well grab it now because it's going to be at the end of
Yeah,
WrestleMania." Not have a
100%.
fucking kicker, a punter, whatever the fuck McAfee was
It
back in the
makes no
day.
sense.
He's holding the title like it's a replica, like he's a fan at ringside.
Yeah,
Great
literally.
point. Great point.
It's starting to feel like WCW, and that's another reason I hate. I'm really getting mad at this feud. It feels like Randy's taking a backseat.
Yeah.
It
He's the
feels like
fucking
Randy.
star, not Mac. Right, right.
Exactly. It feels like he's taking a backseat in his own feud, and it's just bothering me. And I
Well, this might
I
not
don't know.
bother you. Picture this. He's the big cheerleader right now, Pat McAfee, right?
Yeah.
The end of the match, Orton's the champ. Pat McAfee's jumping up and down like a fucking cheerleader.
Yeah.
What does Randy Orton do?
Punt him.
RKO
Oh, I would love
and a
that.
punt.
Would love
Turn
that.
on him saying, "Hey, I used your ass, whatever, to help me beat down Cody before the match."
Yeah.
Pure using him. Now what happens to Pat McAfee? Crowd don't like him. He's not a face. He's
Yeah.
not really
He's
a
got
heel
go
because
away
Orton
heat.
just punted his ass.
He's got go
But
away
maybe
heat.
he'll ride off into the sunset either way.
Yeah. But I guess we'll see.
We'll
I'm
see.
excited. As much as I hate, how it's going with this feud, I'm excited to see what happens
Right.
ultimately, how they build with it. As shitty as it's been, I want to see. Because I'm looking. I always like to look ahead when it comes to wrestling. You
The
gotta
big
like
picture, right?
the big picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is this going? Where is the
Right.
McAfee angle going? Where is the Jelly Roll angle going? How are they going to tie this all together and make it cohesive?
I'm
So
really
that's
hoping we're gonna find out come WrestleMania.
I hope so too.
Have more answers than more additional questions.
Exactly.
All right. So that's night one, April 18th, coming up next week on a Saturday. Let's fast forward to Sunday coming April 19th, night two of WrestleMania 42, the showcase of the Immortals. Now I'm looking at the opening match here. I can't guarantee that it's going to be, but this is the match we're going to start with. I know you've been dying to talk about it. So have I.
Yeah.
Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. Now let me paint a picture here. This is like Land of the Giants. This is like the way it was back in the 80s and even into the 90s. You got two big ass motherfuckers that are going to be banging heads, and you're like, holy fucking shit, look at these behemoths. Who's going over? Who's getting their ass kicked in? I've been watching the build. Now, don't get me wrong. Obafemi is going to be a fucking force in the future. They
Hmm.
brought him up real quick in NXT. He didn't even lose the title. I don't even follow NXT like I used to. I followed him more
Yeah,
during the Black and Gold era. One
yeah.
day we'll do a podcast, you and I, Black and Gold versus current. But the
Hmm.
whole thing is with Obafemi, his look is amazing. I love how he just picks up a guy and throws him like he's a piece of
Yeah,
trash. I
yeah,
am a fan of the big man. I'm not disrespecting the small guys in wrestling because everybody has a place in wrestling. But
yeah.
when you're a cruiserweight, like a Rey Mysterio or Billy Kidman, I'm talking about back in the day when I used to watch the old school wrestling, that was believable wrestling. When I
Hmm.
see someone like Rey Mysterio go up against the great Khali, I'm like, come on. Khali
Yeah,
takes bigger shits than Rey.
yeah.
I
No,
like to
literally.
see the big guys wrestle. I'm a big man fan. If you look at the promoters, okay, when Vince McMahon, before we get into the match, when Vince McMahon ran WWE and you look at Tony Khan in AEW, you can
Hmm.
tell that Tony Khan is a fan of the smaller guys and
Yeah.
Vince McMahon was a fan of the bigger guys. Because you look at 70s, 80s, early 90s wrestling, you had believable guys. You look at a
Hmm.
guy like Sid Vicious, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. These guys were massive. A
Yeah.
lot of guys today are small, and that's fine, but
Hmm.
keep them with guys that they're built with. Sometimes the
Yeah.
Davey and Goliath storyline is nice,
Hmm.
but not on a regular basis. So
For sure.
getting back to the first match, you got this big bad mother trucker, as Bully Ray would say, Obafemi against another bad mother trucker in Brock Lesnar. Now, I for one, it's no disrespect and no hate on Obafemi. Personally, I want to see Brock Lesnar win. I'm going to tell you why. Every week they're building Oba, which is awesome. He's been
Yeah.
getting the better of Brock Lesnar. But now
Hmm.
Brock Lesnar, he's the beast.
Yeah.
Okay. How the fuck do you keep making this guy look like a piece of shit and keep
Hmm.
throwing him like he's nothing and making you so you're building him? I get it. It was so apparent the first time you see Brock Lesnar literally telling Obafemi, put your foot on my chest, stand over me,
Hmm.
do this, do that. He's like walking him through because he's very green. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. You got to learn somehow.
Hmm.
But the build to this match, if Brock Lesnar loses this match and then say he does another program, eventually we talked about earlier with Gunther, he loses that. In my opinion, that loses his credibility. He's supposed to be a slayer, a ruler. He beat
Yeah.
the Undertaker's streak. He has all these accolades. Now, I know Oba's the future and Brock, his career is winding down. But
Hmm.
if I was booking it, I would have Brock Lesnar win at Mania, maybe have a rematch, have Oba win that, make it a two
Hmm.
out of three, couple of classics, eventually have Oba be the winner,
Hmm.
2 out of 3, but have Lesnar go over at WrestleMania. I know your take will probably be different. A lot of people has to say, "Oh, it's Oba's time. He has
Yeah.
that nice walk and he's this and he's that." I don't give a shit about any of that. Okay, I'm
Fair.
old school. I think Brock should go over. I think he should F5 the shit out of him. Give him at least
Yeah.
5 of them to pin him. Make it believable.
Hmm.
Like he had a struggle. Don't make it easy.
Yeah.
Have a back and forth match. Have Oba hit his finisher. Have Brock hit his couple of times back and forth. But after like a couple of million times of fucking finishers, have Brock go over the way
Yeah.
Kane and Undertaker used to go at it. It took Undertaker like 5 tombstones to beat Kane, whatever it was in their first match. Eventually, Kane went over. He beat Undertaker.
Hmm.
Same thing with Obafemi. Have him go over eventually, but not at WrestleMania. That's my
Yeah.
take.
So you're actually going to be fairly surprised with my take on this. So first off, just seeing Oba's rise, it's such a natural rise to he's the future. I mean, you said it. He like
Definitely a
he's
natural
just getting
rise.
immediate insane reactions, right? Like people have already caught on to what was happening in NXT. Not a lot of people watch NXT. So, you got this new guy, this new powerhouse come up and you know, like it's been crazy to see how like well received he's been in such a short span of time. And with that being said, him versus Brock at Mania is the perfect first feud for him. Kind of gives him that credibility that oh yeah, like we're not going to start him off small and build his way up to being this monster. Let's throw him right at the top. He's earned it. He didn't lose in
Sink or
that. He's
swim, right? Go to the deep end.
exactly. He
Yeah.
only ever lost twice in NXT. He lost to Tony D'Angelo, who's actually the current
The
NXT
current
champion.
champion, right, right. And he
And
looks he
and
looks phenomenal. Sidebar.
yeah, oh yeah. I've been a fan of him I mean, we're Italian, so we immediately
That's right. Italian here
like
too.
attached.
Forget
Like
about it.
I love the D'Angelo family when he first started. Just so
Great
yeah.
gimmick.
Sidebar. I
Yeah.
love seeing him being champion. I was very excited. And he lost to Ricky Saints, one of the smaller cruiserweight guys, which you said, I guess David Goliath, like we were talking about earlier.
That size
With
was
that
is
being
kind of decent. I'm talking about guys that are like fucking like
like
tiny looking,
Mysterio,
anorexic looking
yeah,
fucks against these big motherfuckers that look like they're
yeah,
dinosaurs. That
yeah,
you got with Ober and Brock, you got a T Rex, going up against like a
Godzilla,
fucking yeah, God. It's like Godzilla and King Kong.
yeah,
All it's missing is the Empire State Building and a couple of fucking planes flying by. These
mm,
are guys that should be banging heads. But
yeah.
go ahead.
So them two at WrestleMania is fantastic. However, and this is the part that's going to surprise you from me. The first hour of both nights, they're showing on ESPN, like for free for everybody. With that being said, ESPN loves Brock Lesnar. So I think for the exposure, I think Brock's going to win it because the next match he's going to have is against Gunther and he's going to lose. They're not going to have him lose two in a row. You can't
Exactly.
have him. Although it would be a good passing of the torch, I don't see him
Too
losing two
soon.
in a row. It'd be too soon, and like you said, it kind of like even though he's putting over to the future of the big men
It's
in
got to be one or the
WWE,
other.
it has to be
Benny, it's
one or
got
the
to be
other.
one of the. It's got to be either Oba
Oh,
or Gunther, like you said. It can't be both because now you're making them look like fucking Swiss cheese.
yeah.
You can't do it. You got to have one or the other.
And I honestly, as much as it'd be extremely beneficial to Oba, I don't think he needs it. He does it. He's already growing into the superstar. Everybody loves him. They
Yeah,
already see him as this force, right?
but plus him losing, he's new in his career. He's got the
Exactly.
whole future ahead of him.
It wouldn't ruin
He's
his
winding
credibility.
down.
As much as I would love Oba to win, he's like currently one of my favorites just because of what me watching in NXT, seeing his rise. Like literally 3 out of the top 5 current are like recent NXT guys, just because of how you know their rise from like NIL athletes to superstars hit like Trick Williams, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, I'm sure. Um, I would love to see Oba win because he's, like I said, one of my favorites. But like story wise and logistically, and looking towards the future, like as I said earlier, the bigger picture, he doesn't need to win. It would be nice for him to win, and it would be a great statement. Hey, my first WrestleMania, one of my first matches on the main roster, I beat Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's like the Miz,
Well,
him saying, not to cut you off. I
yeah, you're
kept
good.
the title against John Cena at WrestleMania. He's still talking about that because
Yeah,
it's a hook. It's
yeah,
something to say. It's an accolade. It's an accomplishment. But
yeah,
Obafemi, the last thing I'm going to say, and I'll let you wrap it
yeah,
up, is he's been getting the best of Brock Lesnar for the last, what, 2, 3 weeks?
yeah,
How much more? You got to have Brock
yeah,
win, but win convincingly. Have him work for it. Don't just give him 1 or 2 F5s and call it a day. Give
yeah.
him
It has
four
to
or
be.
five of them. But look what happened with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. Everybody's like, oh, Goldberg's going to wrestle Lesnar for the title. Ha, ha, ha. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
less than 2 minutes, couple of spears, jackhammer, Goldberg won. But what happened afterwards in the rematch months later?
yeah,
Brock Lesnar won.
yeah.
So I
So
see the same thing, just the opposite. Lesnar winning, and then maybe Oba getting another chance. Maybe. But if it's Gunther, like I said earlier, 2 losses in a short span of time when you're the conqueror,
yeah,
you're the ruler,
it'd look a
the
little
beast.
weird.
Come on.
But then also, I could see it from the opposite way, right? You see, what we were talking about Gunther and Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman earlier. I could see it the other way. You you know,
What do you mean
Gunther
by the other
sees.
way? I got this. I got it here. What's
Oh,
the other way?
so you have Oba win,
Okay.
and then you go to Gunther, and Gunther's like, oh, I want to take him out while he's vulnerable. Like I want to
Yeah, but that
retire.
makes Gunther look weak, though. He's supposed to look strong as a legend killer. He's supposed to be
Well, he
taking
just
over the
wants
old
to
Orton
retire
gimmick.
people. He
Yeah.
wants to retire people. It
Listen,
does.
I think you're inhaling your bagels too much over a bagel boy. Because the bottom line is this, pal. Gunther's supposed to be a wrecking force, not some guy that's capitalizing on a weakness, looking like a puss. He's supposed to be a dude that's taking you out at your best.
Well, he kind of capitalized on AJ Styles in a sense because AJ Styles was like, "Oh, like
Yeah, but he
you
wasn't weak in
embarrassed
the
John
match.
Cena." He took him, and then they had the match, and he took him out.
But think about what you're saying. He beat AJ Styles, right? Did
Yeah,
AJ go into that match weak or injured?
no, but he
Okay, so
went in.
why would
Well, he
why
went
would
in mentally vulnerable because he let Dragon Lee. He took out Dragon Lee. Remember when he choked him out on
yeah?
on the. So it's
Oh,
like
so
he's
you're
going
saying
in
in the
mentally.
storyline he's all fucked up what happened to his partner AJ Dragon Lee, whatever the fuck his name
Yes.
is. I'm saying
So
AJ
like
Lee,
he's
whatever the
going
fuck.
in vulnerable and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like you want this match so bad? Oh, like you really want to fight me? I'm put your career on the line." Like giving it stakes. So like that's kind of what Gunther's been doing. He's kind of been that like not to say a monster heel, but he's a master capitalist. Like
Yeah,
he
but he
takes
is the epitome of an old school wrestler, what a wrestler should look like. He always tells everybody, John Cena, you're an entertainer. I'm a professional
a
wrestler.
wrestler. Yeah.
And being old school, I love that. I mean, entertainment has a definite spot in wrestling because I'm going to go back to you way back in the day. The first big entertainer and then WWF was three W's, Superstar Billy Graham, who I had the fucking privilege and pleasure to interview. And it's up
Hmm.
on my page, Toddy D, by the way, on my YouTube channel. The thing is this, he was an entertainer before there was entertainment.
Yeah.
They got a DVD WWE on Superstar Billy Graham 20 years too soon. Because here's a guy that was doing shit that would, if he was around today, he'd be the champ. But
Yeah.
getting back to
No.
what we're talking about, yeah, the easy pick is Obafemi because, he's new. They got
Hmm.
to build his character. And what
Yeah.
better way to build this guy as a legit big man to beat Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
And it makes sense, and I can see it happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
if they go that route, how is it going to make Gunther look so big and bad beating a guy who was just recently defeated?
Hmm.
That's my point.
Yeah. I
You
mean, the
know
only way.
Gunther and Brock are going to clash.
Oh,
It's going to
100%.
happen. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
Yeah, I just the way, and this is just completely hypothetical. I don't think Brock's gonna lose, but I'm saying if he were to lose, I could see Gunther being like, "Oh well, you owe me a favor. Brock looks a little weak right now. I want to
Finish him
retire him.
off. Yeah.
Let me finish him off. Yeah, like let
Okay.
me send him in, like send
That's a
him to the.
possibility.
That's
Send him
what
to
I'm saying.
pasture, send him
Yeah,
back to Canada. He can go
yeah,
make his tomahawk steaks and hang
yeah.
out and grill and do whatever he's got to do.
Yeah, because at this point,
It
his
could
whole thing
happen.
is I want to retire as many people as possible. So it's like, oh, he's let me kick him while he's down, and
And I
let me
just
take
thought
him
of
out for
something
good.
too, not to cut you off. Brock
No, you're good.
Lesnar, from what I understand, is being paid seven figures
Yeah.
for WrestleMania. Now, if that's the case, if they're paying him that much, then that means he's already agreeing to lose the match.
Hmm.
Money talks, bullshit walks.
Yeah. That's a match that I could see going either way. My heart's telling me Oba,
Who do you
but
want to win?
I would love Oba to win. I would love Oba to win.
Hey,
I would see that
we're
as
on
a
we're on opposite sides of the fence, kid.
yeah,
I
I
want
would
I
love
want to see Brock win, but I think Oba's going to win.
and I would love to see Oba win, but I think Brock's gonna win.
So we're against each other here.
We're at a
That's all.
stalemate.
That's all cool and fine. I'm putting on the specs here because there's a lot of people to read off on this next match, and then the specs will come back off. So we got a big IC championship ladder match. Now I'm going to be honest with you. To me, this is just a fucking thrown together match for a bunch of guys that they're looking to get a payday, which I have no problem with that. But to me, it's got to make sense. It's got to have a build. So you got your current champion, right? You got Penta. He's going up against Javon Evans, who I think is amazing. He has a good career. He needs to bulk up a little. We'll get into that. Against Rusev, against Dragon Lee, against JD McDonough, and now they threw in Rey Mysterio Jr., right? Well, he goes by Rey Mysterio now. I'm old school. I call him Rey Mysterio Jr. So this is a big match that's thrown together. Before I go into who I think is going to win, who's going to lose, whatever, I love Rusev. And when he was in WWE his first time with the Rusev Day, he
Yeah.
started all that. Vince McMahon was the kind of guy or promoter that if my hands aren't on it, if I didn't create it, I'm not
Mhm.
interested in it. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's not going to be a good gimmick, but if he didn't have a hand in it, he didn't give it to you. The only
Yeah.
two people that I can think of that really got to go freely was Steve Austin and
Mhm.
Becky Lynch. That
Yeah.
comes to mind.
And they're pretty similar gimmicks too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Other wrestlers who found their own little niche and never went nowhere because it wasn't there, it wasn't WWE's creation.
Yeah.
Now, since Rusev's been back, all he's been is a space filler. He takes a lot of L's. I mean, when they put him up against Obafemi, I was like, oh, come on, man. You couldn't get someone else to wrestle Obafemi. You have to put Rusev in there.
Yeah.
Rusev's a big dude, man, and he makes a great monster heel. He was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast. I don't know if you watch Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah,
He's the
I watch him sometimes.
I
I
love
love him.
Chris
He's
Van
great.
Vliet. Shout out to CVV. So the bottom line with him is when Rusev was on, he showed his real self. seems like the coolest dude in the world.
Mhm.
Make Rusev a heel, a face, it doesn't matter, but bring back the Rusev Day. Maybe if Lana, his wife, CJ Perry's doing better, because I know she had some health issues, bring
Mhm.
her back to be his manager. He had such a great gimmick. But getting
Yeah.
into this match, there's a lot of people thrown in. They threw in Rey Mysterio. Javon Evans, I think, is fucking awesome.
Oh, he's
But
great.
I look at it like this. I'm gonna keep this one simple, short, and sweet. You can take as much time as you want on this because
Yeah.
you're a young fan. You're into the
Yeah.
young performers. So I'm gonna give this one to you. I look at it like this. Again, the pen. I'm booking. I'm writing. Penta just won the title.
Yeah.
If you're gonna build Penta and make him a strong luchador and just a strong
Mhm.
all around champ, have him win the match. Not only have him retain the title, have him be the guy who pins the person to retain the said title. Have
Yeah.
him go over. Have him be the winner. Don't have someone pin someone else to make him lose. That to me, that's ridiculous. He's not a heel. He's a face.
Yeah.
I what I would love to see, and it's not going to happen, but I would love to see Penta pin Rey Mysterio and have
Mhm.
those two go at it.
Yeah.
Past versus present in an eventual match in the future because they have faces go against each other, just like heels go at it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I see Javon Evans as a future champ, definitely down the line, no doubt.
Mhm.
Jaden McDonough, not so much.
Yeah.
Uh, Rusev, I see Rusev more in like a heavyweight championship kind of caliber, but they're not going to build him. So let's just go down the list here right now. So let me put on my glasses real quick. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this match. I don't see Rey Mysterio winning the title. I don't see
No.
JD McDonough winning the title. Dragon Lee is slim chance. Rusev not at all.
Yeah.
Javon Evans future. So I see Penta winning this, retaining the title, and eventually having matches with Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, and Javon Evans.
Yeah. I
I see
mean,
those
I
three
agree.
guys as formidable opponents for the IC title. Unfortunately, guys like Rusev, I would love to personally see,
Yeah.
but they're just not giving him the push that he deserves.
Mhm.
A lot of these
Yeah.
guys left to go to AEW. They're like, oh, fuck, this is horrible. This is a nightmare. They like little guys. I'm not going to go nowhere. I got to go back to WWE.
Mhm.
Andrade, he goes back and forth more than I change my underwear.
No, literally, it's insane.
Yeah, but the bottom line is me getting back to the match. I see Penta retaining and probably pinning a JD McDonough, maybe a Rusev. I don't see Rey Mysterio getting pinned or Javon Evans or and then AJ. I keep saying AJ Lee. Jesus Christ, Dragon Lee. I see him as the third person not getting pinned in that order. I see either Rusev or JD McDonough getting pinned by Penta.
Yeah, so I
Go
mean,
ahead.
I'll keep it short too because I agree. I think Penta's gonna win. I mean, this is just a high flyer showcase. Because they're gonna have guys jumping off the ladders and doing crazy spots.
Oh, that's
So
what I'm looking forward to the most. These fucking guys, real quick, the way they hit those
yeah,
ladders and break them. I just want to let
yeah.
you know, bro, those ladders are not fucking fake. Those are
Oh,
actually
yeah,
legit ladders. But
yeah,
go ahead. I'm looking for the high spots the most. I'm not
yeah.
a spot
So
fest kind of guy, but for ladder matches, I am because I was at the Garden for Shawn Michaels against Razor Ramon back in the
one of
day.
my favorite matches
For the
ever.
ladder, I was there, bro. It was
That's
great. We'll talk
insane.
about that offline. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, so I mean, I agree. I mean, Penta just like you said, you took the words right out of my mouth. Penta just won the title. You can't. And the whole premise of this match is, oh, I'm a fighting champion. I wanna I wanna defend against everybody.
Right.
Like, so it's like you're really gonna have that and be like, oh, I'll defend it, and then immediately lose. The only person I could see in this match winning it would be Javon Evans, but I feel like it's fairly early for him. I mean,
Because he's young. Right.
because he's young. He's 21. Like he's younger than me. And that's like I watch him and I'm like, holy shit, this kid is literally younger than me. That's insane. He's
And he
literally
hasn't fully like developed his build. If he
no.
packs on some pounds, I mean, he may
He's
not be able to fly as high as he's doing now, but he's gonna have a good look if he stays healthy and they
yeah.
keep him. He has a good future. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I mean, he's the only person I could see. I could see Ray, going against Penta, like you said, but I could see that in AAA. They've been building up the Vikingo going after the IC championship. They very well could insert him in this match, because
They
AAA's
could.
on tonight. They very well could just insert him in because they've been having a little thing in AAA, and he's extra with like the high flying. If they throw him in, he's the biggest high flyer of them all.
Yeah.
So I could see him fighting Vikingo for the title. I could see Ray for the title. Dragon Lee, they had a great match on
Those
Raw
are,
a couple
like you
weeks
said, those
ago.
are great matches. Equal look, build, like I said earlier. You
Yeah,
get a guy like Rusev going against Penta. It could be a great match because
yeah,
big guys and small guys can adapt to each other's styles. I
hmm
just, for the most part, not all the time, but most of the time, I like seeing like a Batista against an Orton, an Ultimate Warrior
yeah,
against a Hogan, John
yeah.
Cena, against a Batista back in the day. All big guys or smaller guys, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee.
hmm
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So ultimately, I see Penta keeping it.
Yeah, I
That
mean, I
shot
hope
at being
so
at the
anyway.
top of the ladder with the title. I don't understand. The one thing I understand why he's in it, but like Rusev, like logistic, like
He's
story
got
wise,
nowhere to
makes
go. That's the
he.
problem. They don't book these guys the right way, Benny. They
That's
don't
the
build
problem. That's the.
storylines. They don't build feuds. When I was a kid, okay, you would see the cracks in the foundation maybe February
Mhm.
before WrestleMania or January when the Mega Powers were a tag team. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to give a shout out to my boy, diehard Derek Gordon. I'm on the Midnight Hustle on this podcast all the time. We did top 5 moments in wrestling. His was the Mega Powers exploding. We talked
yeah,
about it. Basically, once you can see the cracks. You could see
yeah,
the jealousy in Savage's eyes with Elizabeth, with Hogan, like he was flipping out. But it was little minuscule things that built to the big breakup. My point is, they don't do that anymore.
yeah.
They
They,
just
they
don't do that. They just throw shit together in a couple of weeks, like Pat McAfee was throwing. We talked about that earlier. Jelly Roll's been around, for a cup of coffee. So is I Show Speed, but he has at least a little bit of a history.
yeah.
But they don't do builds like they used to. When I was
Mhm.
a kid, when the Rockers were a tag team, it sounds funny, but when Shawn Michaels came out and he was growing his chest hair of all things, my
Yeah,
buddy calls me up. He's like, "Yo," and at the time we didn't say heel or face, we say good guy, bad guy. My friend
yeah,
called me. He's like, "Yo, Shawn Michaels is turning bad. He grew
yeah,
his chest hair," and I started laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, I think so too." And these
yeah,
little fucking hints, it wouldn't happen right away. It'd be like building little by little
yeah.
by little, and then you'd see the payoff where one guy would turn on the other guy. Now
Mm.
today, like you said, it's all thrown together, 0 cents, and that's why everybody's like, next, boring,
Yeah, no, literally.
but I think we're going to hear a lot of holy shit chants in this ladder match.
Oh,
I think a
100%.
lot of crazy shit's going to go down. I just hope for Rey Mysterio, this is not going to be another injury that permanently keeps him out of wrestling for good. Because the
Yeah,
guy's close to my age. He's already a Hall of Famer. He's had more
yeah,
injuries than I can count.
yeah.
So hopefully for him, he'll play it a little safe. But knowing
Uh,
Ray, he's going to go balls to the wall. He's going to
Oh,
show these
100%.
newbies that I can still fucking go. So all I
Yeah,
know
oh,
is it's going to be
100%.
great. A lot of high spots, a lot of high flying, lots of holy shit moments, and a lot of busted ladders. All I know is Home Depot or Lowe's are going to make a shit ton of money that day when it comes to the hardware at WrestleMania. Go ahead.
100%. No, yeah, I mean, I see this as an underrated classic. Like I think this is going to be like when
Sleeper
Mania is all
match.
said and done. This is the sleeper match. I say
Okay.
when Mania is all said and done, people are going to look back and they'll be like, "Wow, that ladder match was actually really crazy. Like
Yeah.
that was a thrown together match, but holy shit, it was a good match."
Right. And the
So
person
I
that
think
goes
this is
on
the
next is
underrated
gonna be that's
sleeper.
a hard shit to follow now. Yeah. It could be.
Oh,
Could be.
100%.
Yeah. All right. So
100%.
we're both in agreement to Penta obviously
Yeah.
remaining your IC champ.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward to the next match. This happens to be, believe it or not my favorite, but one of my favorite matches for both nights. United States Championship match. Sami Zayn against the
Yeah.
Lemon Pepper Stepper, Trick
Yeah.
Williams. And the reason why this is my one of my favorite matches, it goes back to what I said earlier about a double switch.
Mhm.
Sami Zayn's getting fucking booed out of the building,
Oh yeah.
which I absolutely love.
I
Everybody
do
hates
too.
the fact that Carmelo Hayes got fucked over and lost the title to
Mhm.
Sami Zayn. I get it. So was I. However, Sami Zayn, they got it. They're going with something. Sami Zayn's entering as the champ against Trick Williams because Trick Williams came in to WWE and he got promoted from NXT as a heel.
Yeah.
The fucking
Oh
crowd loves
yeah.
him.
Oh,
The guy's got a phenomenal look. He's great on the mic. He reminds me of a modern day version of a Booker T.
yeah.
Just
And Booker T
just the
loves him
look.
too.
Yeah, oh Booker.
Booker T
Tell
loves
me you
him.
didn't just say that. He loves
Yeah.
him. But the bottom line is with Trick Williams during the match, like Hogan, like in WrestleMania 18 with Hogan and The Rock, the double, switch heel face.
Yeah.
I see Trick Williams winning the U.S. title,
Mhm.
becoming a face, Sami Zayn just becoming nuts like the way he used to be when he was a parent before the bloodline. He used to wear that green like army cap. He was
Yeah.
like a paranoid fuck, and he wrestled Johnny Knoxville in one of the WrestleManias. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's come a long way since then. It's not that I'm not a fan of Sami Zayn, but he doesn't even look like a wrestler, bro. He looks
Mhm.
like your next door neighbor who just retired from a job and he's mowing the lawn
Yeah.
out front with no fucking shirt on.
Oh
But
yeah.
the bottom line is, Trick Williams goes over, start a program with Trick Williams and excuse me, Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
I don't see. I see Sami Zayn as a title space filler, a holder, just
Yeah.
temporary, just to get Trick Williams over, get him to the next level, have him become U.S. champ, rekindle that fucking feud, that bromance with him and Carmelo Hayes, and then they can take over from that point. Maybe go to SummerSlam and then some,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
Sami Zayn can go on to something else because he's a great wrestler. Sami Zayn, he's got some great moves. He's got a not a good physical look, but he's got a presence with the fans.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to be booing or cheering moving forward, someone like Sami Zayn at this stage in his career, it's nice to be a champ. Everybody wants to be the champ, but he really
Yeah.
doesn't need the title to get him to that next level.
No.
Trick Williams, he does.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with you on that. I think Trick's ultimately gonna go over. I ultimately do see the double turn. I'm not a fan of Sami Zayn at all. Um,
Same.
I do, and it's not even the way he wrestles. It's not his promo. It's just the fact that he's one of those guys that just gets shoved down your throat. Like they
Not yeah,
push
week
him
in and
to the
week out,
moon.
like a JD McDonough. Not for nothing. I hate to say that, but no disrespect to JD McDonough. But these guys, they get more airtime than they should be getting.
Like
My
Sami Zayn,
opinion.
yeah, I mean they give him all the title opportunities. They didn't capitalize on him turning on Roman. That was the one time I was on his side. That was one of the best turns I've seen in the past like 10 years. That was unbelievable. And it was expected, but it was great.
But the
But
bloodline
my
had a
thing,
good build. Like I said earlier, you
yeah,
need a
oh yeah.
build. Go ahead.
Yeah. But they call him Sammy Hogan for a reason. They push him down your throat. They make him win every match. He's just ultimately there's no reason for him to be champ right now. The story with Carmelo and Trick Williams, it is ultimately so much better. Even Carmelo and Ilya Dragunov, they had a story going. That would have been the great IC championship match.
Man, those
I,
matches they had. I mean, I'm not saying I'm
Unbelievable.
not a fan of Ilya Dragunov because I think he's awesome. He needs to have better mic skills, but the matches those two had off the
They're
fucking
unbelievable.
charts, man. I mean,
Yeah.
holy shit moments left and right.
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes should be, I don't know why he got fucked over the way he did,
Oh,
but if you're going to
bad.
take a title, at least get him in WrestleMania somehow. They could have made it a triple threat match, or they could have put
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes against a Rusev or someone like that, just to have a side match. Give him a payday, give him a match.
Put him in the IC championship ladder match. He'd be
Yeah,
great. Like,
that's even a better idea. Shit, I didn't even
put
think of
him in
that.
there.
Yeah,
Like, there's no reason for him to be off the card. He was carrying the SmackDown mid card for the past 4 months. Like he's ultimate. Like I'm biased here. I wanted Trick versus Carmelo just because they're
same.
two of my favorites. They're two of my
History.
favorites right now.
Yeah,
So like Carmelo's number three and Trick's number five. Like in my top five right now. So I would have loved to see that match. They have the history. Another one where the writing was on the wall. It would have made so much sense. Trick coming
like
up.
Orton and Rhodes, same thing. You
Exactly.
have you have the
It's like
history.
they have
Yeah.
the history. The story was right there. You have Mello as champion as Trick gets called up, and then immediately he thinks he's like you have Trick as this heel, and he comes in. He's like, "Oh, like I've beaten you once. Like we have this history. Give me a shot." You know what I mean? He has the open challenges. The story was written right there, but they had to insert Sami Zayn in there because they want to turn him heel.
Why?
I
You see,
understand.
yeah.
I
Make it
understand they want to turn
organic
him heel.
though, You gotta make it organic.
Exactly. And it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Trick. I do expect the double turn. The crowd is just so behind Trick, and I mean I am too. So I could see Trick being great. And then like you said, they're gonna build towards Mello and Trick.
Right.
I just would have loved to see that at WrestleMania. I
Not a
don't think
better thing than an organic, natural thing to happen. I hate when shit is forced down my throat.
and that's
Oh, you
Sami
have to
Zayn.
like Roman Reigns when he first broke off from
Yeah.
the Shield. For the first 5 or 6 years, he was forced down people's throats. Then when he
Yeah.
finally found his niche, and he became better on the mic, and they
Yeah.
let him run with it his way,
Yeah.
night and day, bro. Totally
Yeah,
different.
it's insane. Now he's one of
Yeah.
the biggest stars and everybody's behind him. So,
Right.
and I feel that's the same with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
He's just getting forced down everybody's throat. He's in every title opportunity. He politics his way into these matches, and they give it to him. So I'm just sick of Sami Zayn. I'm glad he's going to lose the title to Trick. And
Well, we'll see. Hopefully, he loses the title
hopefully,
to Trick. I
hopefully,
mean, he should. I mean,
hopefully.
if the story's writing itself, he should be losing the title. There's one name I'm going to bring out, not just for this match, but in general for WrestleMania, whether it's night one or night two. We didn't mention this one person, and I think he's going to have some kind of an appearance. Kevin Owens.
I would love that.
Hmm.
He should have been on the phone. It should have been him on the phone. That's a story in itself. They were supposed to fight last year at Mania, him and
Exactly.
Randy
That's
Orton.
why I said it.
That would have
Hmm.
made sense.
Yeah.
And he's
100%.
wrestling royalty. You see what I'm saying? Like there's so
Yeah.
many better options they had, and they chose Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll. It makes
Lazy
no
booking.
sense.
It's lazy booking. That's what I
It's
call it.
lazy.
Yeah.
Just because you think he's Stallone. I keep
Because
coming
he's
back to that.
available and because I own TKO and I'm going to do what I say. Let me tell you
It's
something,
just
okay? Not that I'm giving Triple H any pity here, because I was a huge Triple H fan when he wrestled.
yeah.
His hands are tied.
Oh, 100%.
He is now just an employee for WWE. So I'm sure there's a lot of shit he does that he doesn't want to do,
Yeah.
but he
But
has
he's
to.
forced. But he's
And with
forced
The
to. Yeah.
Rock on the board, in real life, those guys got beef with each other because there's a lot of ego between Triple H
Oh,
and The Rock,
million
stemming
percent.
back from the late '90s going into the 2000s. You
Yeah.
know, they used to try to one up each other. I'm the IC champ. Well, I'm a better IC champ. I'm a heavyweight champ. I'm a better heavyweight champ. It
Yeah.
was always like that between the two of them. So
Yeah.
Triple H, I'm sure his hands are tied. I'm sure there's a lot of times he says, "Oh, this is horrible. I should do this." I can see him saying that. Bad
Yeah.
impression,
No.
but I had to do it.
No,
But
it's
the
warranted.
bottom
It
line
needed to be
is
done.
they got to do what they got to do. They got to listen to TKO Sports. That's why I'm hoping one day a McMahon. I'm at the point I don't care which McMahon owns it, but I think it should go back to the McMahons and be
Yeah.
privately owned. You can publicly trade if you want, but it was better even when it was publicly privately owned rather. We
Yeah.
do what we want to do. You don't fucking like it, turn the channel. You were
Yeah.
able to have a leg to stand on. You had a crutch. You could say, "Fuck you. This is my company. You don't like it? Get out. You don't like it?
Yeah.
Don't watch." But now when you have sponsors and you're publicly traded or you have a big conglomerate like TKO owning the place, you got to play by their rules.
Yeah.
It's like
And
a
it's
wild
just
line being tamed. It's no
it's
good.
just so it's so annoying, and it's like I can't.
So
I just
we're in agreement here
yeah.
to the lemon pepper stepper become the new U.S. champ.
Oh,
I
and
think
I'm
it'd be a good
excited for
stepping
it.
stone for him too, because that U.S.
Yeah.
title can build him eventually to IC, maybe one day heavyweight.
Oh, he's a future world champion for sure.
Yeah,
Him and Oba for sure are
yeah.
future world champions. Like NXT the past couple years has been building great stars, and they
Oh,
kept him in
without a doubt.
they kept tricking NXT for a little longer. People were like, "Oh, like he's
Yeah,
ready," after he lost it
yeah.
the
Than
first
I
time.
anticipated. I thought he'd be into the higher call a lot sooner. But you know
Yeah,
what?
he needed to
Everyone's
build.
time has a place. I mean, Javon Evans is there now.
Yeah,
Eventually, you're going to bring whoever else is in NXT. I like to see Tony D'Angelo eventually going to WWE. But listen, he just got the title. He's
yeah,
going to make it his, put a stamp on it. Hopefully, have a good run. And then when the
yeah.
time comes, like the way Braun Breaker lost, I think to Carmelo Hayes that time, or whoever it was
Yes.
he lost
Stand
to.
and deliver 2023.
Okay, there you go. So
Yeah,
eventually, if he loses, Tony D'Angelo, then eventually he'll get called up.
yeah,
Everyone has a time and a place to get called up to the big league. Problem
yeah,
is this: a lot of guys who come up, they're not as effective as they were in NXT. Look at Shinsuke Nakamura.
yeah.
This will
That's
be a
what.
whole topic for another time about NXT call-ups. Who made it? Who didn't? We'll do that eventually if you want to. I
Oh,
got a
I'm,
lot
I'm
of
always
things.
down to talk NXT.
Beautiful. I got a lot of things on the back burner, but I want to jump back into the WrestleMania matches.
Yeah, let's
The
do it.
next, since we just agreed on Trick Williams winning, becoming hopefully the next U.S. champ, we're going to go to the women's heavyweight championship match, which we kind of touched on earlier. Your current champ, Jade, I have not defended in over 100 days, Cargill,
Literally.
going against Rhea Bloody fucking Ripley. Now, the one thing I like about this match, I like how B-Fab and Mia Yim became fucking in cahoots with Jade because she had
Yeah,
a posse in AEW. So now
yeah,
she's got her posse in WWE. Now, if I would have wrote this when B-Fab and Mia took over and, being part of the faction with Jade Cargill, I would have had Io Sky and have Bianca Belair come
yeah.
back in Rhea's corner. But
Hmm.
from what I understand, Bianca might be losing a finger. She's going through a lot of shit right now.
Oh
Hopefully,
yeah.
shout out to her. She gets better real soon.
Hmm.
But at WrestleMania, if these two goofs are going to be in Jade Cargill's corner, Reed's going to need some backup, bro. Something's got to
Yeah.
give.
Yeah.
Maybe Naomi comes back. She gave birth. You never know. There's a
Hmm.
lot of open possibilities.
Yeah.
But the reason why Rhea Ripley is in this match, they were pushing Jordan Grace to go up against Jade Cargill because she's a little short, but she's pretty jacked. She's like
Yeah.
a mini version of like a Papa Pump,
Yeah.
the female version. I would have liked to see Jordan Grace go against Jade Cargill. That would have been pretty cool. But unfortunately, the injury bug bit her. She was out. They created that whole tournament, I guess. That's why Rhea Ripley was the best choice, obviously, out of all of them, because right
Yeah.
now she's white hot. She's over with the crowd. They love her. She's got an
Hmm.
interesting look. So I think Jade Cargill should have never been the champ to begin with. And it's no disrespect
I
to
agree.
her. Phenomenal build, great look, but greener than a fucking dollar bill. She
Oh yeah.
needs more training. She went straight from AEW right to WWE,
Hmm.
higher up. No NXT. I'm sure she did training and went to other, smaller promotions with WWE to get ready for the big time, but
Yeah.
not enough time spent.
Oh, that's for sure.
Rushed her as the champ.
Yeah.
I don't buy into it. Now, if Rhea Ripley does go over, it's a lot of different definite possibilities. You can finally have this stupid fucking friendship with her and Io Sky, which I cannot stand. I hate
Yeah.
that as much as I hate the Charlotte Flair Alexa Bliss fucking love fest with the fucking
Um,
hearts.
I'm with you
It
on
gets
that.
my blood boiling. Can't even talk
Yeah.
straight when I think about it. Bottom
Yeah.
the bottom line is this: I hate when she comes out hugging Io. Oh, hey, we're BFFs. First of all, your
Yeah.
fucking entrance music is badass. You have that gothic look. You should be coming out with a fucking angry look on your face, ready to kick ass like the Road Warriors used to come out to Ozzy's Black Sabbath's Iron Man. Don't come out
Yeah.
singing your song, tilting your head.
Yeah.
You're fucking jacked up, covered in tattoos, have a gothic
Yeah.
look, and you're fucking singing like you're on America's Got Talent. Give me a fucking break. Okay, that is bullshit.
Yeah.
Come out like the badass that you are. Don't let this fucking Jade Cargill walk all over you. Don't eat the pin. Don't look weak. Go over, become champion. Brooklyn
Yeah.
Zone, if I'm writing it, I'm booking it. I want to see fucking Rhea Ripley win the title and then give other prospects the opportunity to go after the championship. Whether it's Raquel Rodriguez or someone else that's big and coming up, or if when Jordan Grace comes back, or whoever it is, Bianca Belair, Naomi, you name it,
Yeah.
have someone go and chase Rhea Ripley for that title. Make her badass. Make her go back to her roots. Stop the love fest with her and Io Sky and have her go
Mhm.
back to basics. The floor is
Yeah.
yours.
No, I mean, granted, this is my least anticipated match of the entire weekend. I mean,
Same.
the build was horrible. Jade, like you said, is absolutely is so green. That's the reason she doesn't defend the title because they don't want to expose her as being a shitty fucking wrestler because she sucks.
100%.
That's the only reason they don't book her
Yep.
to have matches. It's because when you put her in the ring, like let's say you have a random match on SmackDown against Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae will run circles around her because she's so green, she's so bad. She's got the look, she's got the promo, she's got the entrance, she's got everything. She's got
But the
the
experience.
notability. Like people know her outside of WWE, but she can't do shit in the ring.
No, not at
She
all.
can't do shit. So
And you know
I'm
what? It's not
not.
totally her fault either, bro, because they
It's
could have
not.
fucking
No.
held her back and made her learn.
Yeah.
They did it
Oh,
to the Big Show
100%.
years ago. They made him lose weight. They threw him down to NXT like he was a hunk of shit. Meanwhile, the Big
Yeah.
Show's one of the greatest of all time. If
Yeah.
someone's green or someone needs some developmental build and some
They need
help,
reps.
some training,
You need reps.
go to NXT. Get
Yeah.
the training in. They have the best trainers in the world there.
Yeah.
Learn, grow, get the experience, then come back. And you
Yeah.
can be a formidable wrestler and slash champion.
So I agree. And that's why I'm like, when she beat Stratton, I was so annoyed because I'm like, she's not gonna, it was a 3-minute match. Stratton had the title for almost a year at that
And there's
point.
another one. She's not even on WrestleMania.
She's not even on the card. Literally, the two champs that walked into Mania's champs last year
Right.
aren't even on the card. Her and Io.
Yeah.
And
And they're
speaking
two
of,
of the best wrestlers. That's the
it
thing.
makes no sense.
Zero
It
sense.
makes no sense.
I'm
And
really hoping
speaking
both of them
Io,
have some kind of hand in WrestleMania because they both deserve it.
I agree. And
Yeah.
speaking of Io, I'm with you on that on the friendship thing.
The whole love
Because
fest bullshit.
how does
Yeah.
because how does Rhea? You look at it from like a kayfabe standpoint. This
Right.
girl, you have never pinned in your career. You've never beaten her. Like she's the one thing you've never done in WWE is beat her. And then now all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're friends and we're gonna tag with each other. We're gonna win the titles. It makes
Right.
no
Makes it look like she
sense.
looks makes it look like Io Sky humbled your fucking ass. And if that's the
Exactly.
case, take off the black makeup, go to a tattoo removal artist, and become a little
Yeah.
fucking goody goody two two shoes because
Yeah.
you're making yourself look weak. Oh, I couldn't beat her,
Yeah.
so I'll be her BFF. No, no, no,
Exactly.
jerk
It
off. It
makes
doesn't
no
work that
sense.
way. Become that gothic badass. Take no prisoners. Put Io in the rearview mirror. Get that fucking victory and keep moving
Yeah.
forward. I agree 100%.
So ultimately, Rhea's gonna win. I mean, Jade's had one defense in since
Right.
November 1st when she
I
won
don't
the
know. They're
title.
better
She's
off
had
having
one
Rhea be the
defense.
champ. No, that makes the
Yeah,
most
but
sense. But this
and
is
then you
WWE.
ultimately
You never know,
build.
bro. What's going to happen. So,
Yeah, you ultimately build towards her versus Io, where she eventually gets the win over Io in a championship match. So
right.
like that's what
Can
they
move
should
forward,
build
wipe her
towards.
feet back, saying, "That's it. I finished your ass off, and I'm
Yeah,
moving forward."
I've done everything now. I
Yeah.
finally beat you. I finally avenged my demons. That have been haunting me since NXT.
Right.
So Rhea's gonna win. I don't
Finally
have
got that
too much
monkey off
else.
my back.
Yeah, it's like I find literally. So like I said, I'm not looking forward to this match. So all I'll really say to finish off is I think Rhea's gonna win. And
I
then
hope so.
send Jade to NXT. Send her. Give her a couple months off to train because she doesn't know how to wrestle.
Well said. Well
And
said.
yeah, she
Last,
needs the time off.
that's right. She does. Last but not least, the
Oh wait,
World
there's,
Heavyweight Championship. What? Go. Oh, you have one more
there's
thing
one.
to say?
No, there's one match before the main event. Balor Mysterio.
We mentioned Mysterio, the ladder
We didn't
match.
we didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about the match. We mentioned him with Liv.
Oh, you're saying Dominic? My
Yeah,
bad. My
Dom
bad.
Mysterio. Dom Mysterio
You
versus
know
Finn
what?
Balor.
That was the match I had after the IC ladder match. My bad. I
Oh,
skipped it.
you're good.
I
No,
skipped it.
you're good. I'm a huge
I'm
Balor
glad you
fan, so
said
I
that.
want to
No,
make sure I
you know
talk
what?
about him.
You're 100% correct. My
Yeah.
apologies. I
No,
have
you're
it
good.
right after the IC championship. I skipped it right to the US championship with Sami Zayn. I guess I was so fucking excited that I
Yeah,
forgot about
no.
it. So
Oh no, you're
let's get
good.
into it. No, no, no.
I'm just very
You're right.
excited about Balor because I
No, no.
love Balor.
So am I. So let's get into Finn Balor, this grudge match, I call it, against
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio. Dominic gets a shit ton of heat. I got a guy I work with. He legit fucking hates Dominic Mysterio. Every time he talks about Dominic Mysterio, I laugh my balls off because that means that the guy, he's doing his job, man.
Doing
He
his
is a
job.
fucking phenomenal heel. Love the Eddie Guerrero mullet. Love the stash. I call it the porn stash. He looks
Yeah.
fucking awesome. I think it's great. But the thing I love the most about this match, the fucking demon is back. He's gonna come out as the
So happy.
demon when
I'm
those
so
fucking
happy.
lights flash and you see him crawl out on all fours. Dominic Mysterio, brother, I'm gonna look right in the camera and tell you, brother, I feel horrible for you. You're gonna be so fucking cooked and baked in that match that your stash might fall off and the fucking
Yeah.
pompadour mullet might go flying off as well.
Yeah.
Finn Balor is the demon. All I'm gonna say is I'll make it sweet simple and sweet because I feel terrible that I skipped this match.
No, you're good.
The demon is gonna fucking rule and conquer Dominic so bad he's gonna go home crying to his daddy saying, "I'm so sorry for turning on you." I give it to the demon, Finn fucking Balor. Hopefully, this will revitalize the career, not just for the demon, but for
For
Finn Balor
Balor.
himself. The guy is well overdue. Got fucked over a decade ago when he got injured when he won the title, the then Universal title, which is so stupid.
Yeah.
Bottom line, Finn Balor, demon, goes over. Won't hurt Dominic. Cradle pop. Go ahead.
So for me, Balor, I've been mentioning NXT a lot. Balor's the reason I got into NXT. The Demon, I like he right behind CM Punk, and which we'll talk about CM Punk next. He's like CM Punk's my favorite, and then it's Finn Balor. Being a Finn Balor fan for the past decade has been some of the most excruciating thing on the
Painful, right?
planet. I was there when I was at SummerSlam in Brooklyn to see Balor win. Shout out Brooklyn. I was there, Brooklyn's own. But I was there to see it. I've been a Balor fan since 2015 when he first debuted in NXT.
Yeah,
I was
same.
there when he won the title. But since then, he's been getting the shit end of the stick. They never gave him another opportunity, really. They put him against Brock in 2019. He lost because he was the small guy against Brock. Brock killed him. And then
To
a
my
couple years
point
later,
earlier, go ahead.
yeah. And then a couple years later, they gave him the opportunity against Roman at Extreme Rules, where for some again when he was the Demon, for some reason the rope fell and Roman Cavill. It was stupid. And then
Right.
he should have won the title against Seth Rollins in 2023. The story was written. You had him as the champ, and then you have Damian Priest as the world heavyweight champ. I mean, as the Money in the Bank holder. The story was right there. They were going to turn on each other eventually. That was the story. So he should have been a world champ a long time ago. And I
Long
think
time. Yes.
this match is going to be that first step into him being back in the main event scene. CM Punk kind of kicked it back into him that he needs to do it on his own. And like I said, I'll keep it short. But Balor
Take your
is going
time.
to
Take your time. I feel bad that
no,
I can't believe I skipped the match.
no,
My
it doesn't.
apologies to Dirty Dom and to Finn Balor and the Demon, man. My bad. Brooklyn's bad. Yeah. Go ahead.
Brooklyn's no, but
Not
ultimately,
Brooklyn, meaning Brooklyn's own is bad. I fucked up. I
yeah.
made the mistake.
Um,
I'll
but
take the loss. Go ahead.
but Balor's gonna win, and Balor's
Yeah.
gonna decimate him because this is his stepping
One can
stone
only
into
hope because
getting.
that's what the crowd wants to see. They want to see Dominic begging, please, please, please. And
Yeah,
Knowing JD McDonough, he may try to put a hand in there. He'll get his
yeah,
big head thrown over the top rope too. He'll get fucked up as well.
yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a great match. That might be a sleeper match as well.
That is, I hope it is because
Yeah.
the Balor fan of me has been praying for the Demon to come back for a long time, and
Yeah,
I'm
no, I
excited.
love the Demon character. I really wish the Demon character could have gone up against Bray Wyatt's character back in the
Yeah, they were
day.
gonna do that,
I know, and
or
then
the
unfortunately it didn't happen. That would have been really cool.
yeah, I forget the reasoning for it was at Extreme Rules 2018. It's when they did the Demon versus AJ Styles.
Right.
And they were going to do Sister Abigail versus the Demon. I forget the reason they scrapped it or
I
something.
guess it was a creative issue, and then unfortunately Bray Wyatt's untimely passing, which I'm still
Yeah,
in shock to this
R.I.P.
day.
I know.
He to me he was the guy that was going to carry the torch of like the Undertaker type mystique.
Oh,
You know,
100%.
100%.
No.
But yeah, and that match also, you're also with Finn Balor. I always felt he was forced in the Judgment Day as a heel.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh, yeah.
he's
He's not
much
a good
better as
heel.
he's one of those guys that to me is better as a face.
Yeah, oh, yeah. 100%. I mean, he was a heel in his second run at NXT in 2021. But
Right,
like it was a different type of heel. It was more of a like an arrogant like I ruled this place once. I'm doing it again. Like I'm great. Like
right,
I'm the
right,
prince. But this time it was like, oh, I'm an evil lackey, and that bothered me. I liked that he was winning tag titles or whatever. Like he was getting showcased, right?
right.
But they weren't showcasing his full abilities. And I think now they're gonna,
Now
after the
as a
CM,
face, I think he'll be much better.
and they brought the song back,
Yeah.
which is
He
huge.
said when he came out on the first time with the da-da-da, with the music,
Couldn't hear
he
it.
could hear it. Yeah, so he was going like this, and the lights were off timing. I'm
Yeah,
like, is there something wrong with my fucking TV? What's going on?
yeah.
It was Finn Balor. He couldn't hear.
No,
But another person who I feel would be a better heel, I didn't say it earlier, than a face, is Cody Rhodes, and I'll tell you why. When he comes out with those suits and his new clear glasses, and when the music's about to start before he does the whole thing, he's always
yeah.
smiling. Like when he comes out, to me, it's such a forced fake smile.
Mhm.
That shit-eating grin would be better if he were a heel.
Oh, yeah.
That's my
Like
take.
you watch The Boys, the
Which
show The Boys.
no,
No,
The Bo-
okay. So there's a
yeah.
there's a character in the show called Homelander. He's like evil. He's like evil Superman. And every time people talk about a Cody heel turn, they're saying he's going to
They
turn into
compare that?
Homelander. They
Okay.
compare each other. So I would love to see Cody as a heel because if that's what he taps into, it'd be fantastic. But he's the new Cena. They'll never do it.
Right.
But
That's
which
the
sucks
problem.
because
Plus,
now,
his merchandise sells. The kids dress up like him. It's a whole thing.
yeah, it sucks. But
So
yeah,
getting back to that match, we both are agreeing that the demon, hopefully the demon, not because if you saw the promos, you see like the lights flicker with the eyes and everything. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's demon shit right there, man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
hopefully
I'm
it's the
excited.
demon. Hopefully he goes over.
I'm excited for that match for sure, and
Me
I hope he
too.
does. I think he will. I think they need it. I mean, Dom, he's had his moments at Mania. He had it last year where he literally won the IC championship. So I think it's
But he
Balor's
has to
time.
lose because he's been getting the best of Finn this whole time.
Yeah.
So now
So
the tide's got to turn. That's why the whole thing with Ober and Brock to me can go either way because Ober was getting the best of Brock. It
yeah,
might be Brock's turn, but we'll see. Anyway,
yeah. I hope Balor wins though. I'm pretty sure he's gonna.
I
But you
hope
never
so.
know.
I hope so.
never know.
I think Dom taking the loss won't hurt him, and it'll help Finn with his switch as a face, move on
Yeah.
with his career, and then Dirty Dom can keep doing other shit because They're gonna boo him, love to hate him. He's just got a great character. Either way, he's good.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited.
Me too. So now I can
Now,
officially get to the last match. Again, my apologies, everyone out there in Toddy D land and YouTube land. You name the land, I apologize. So you got your World Heavyweight Championship match. Look into my eyes. What do you see? The current champ, the cult of personality. CM Punk against the tribal chief,
I
Roman
gotta acknowledge him.
fucking Reigns.
I gotta
Let me tell
acknowledge
you,
him.
the build to this match, the back and forth, the fucking pure hatred.
Oh, it's
Because let me tell
amazing.
you something. With storylines and acting, there's some legitimacy. It's an
Yeah,
ego thing. They have a fucking history since Roman was in the Shield. Because if you remember back in the day, Punk was part of that. He brought them in. They had like their own kind of faction before the Shield
they were
broke
his
off and became
mercenaries.
right one of the greatest factions of all time. Right.
Yeah,
So personally, I'm not a fan of CM Punk. I'll get into it to you another time. I worked with CM Punk when I was
yeah,
with NWA Cyberspace slash NWA Shockwave Wrestling. This was his stunt with us right before he got signed with WWE.
hmm
We'll go into that another time. But
yeah,
since then, he's grown. He's older now. But like when he was in AEW, MJF says, "Oh, you got this whole all shucks personality. I'm in insert town. I'm happy to be insert place." And MJF made fun of him because that's what he does now. Everything's redundant. Like
yeah,
every time on a Monday night, he goes, "Oh, it's great to be alive in whatever town he's in or what."
yeah,
Everybody pops. It's like Mick Foley. It's great to be right here in New York City. It's
yeah,
just a cheap pop, cheap plug. But his promos have fucking, whether I like him or not, whether I was a fan or not, doesn't matter. His fucking promos were fire, like you young generation say.
yeah,
I loved what he said. Shout out to my younger daughter who always teaches me the new lingo. Bottom line is this: his promos, the reality kicks in and makes it even a better fucking grudge match for this title.
yeah,
Talking about the past with Roman Reigns, bringing in his fucking father, Sika, who passed away, say, "I'm going to bury you alongside your father." Was it
yeah,
necessary? Probably not. Did it turn heads? Did it have people talk? Fuck yeah, it did.
yeah,
And then they say he talks about Roman Reigns going on all these talk shows. Why isn't CM Punk on the talk shows? He's the champ.
yeah,
Well, look at him physically looking compared to Roman Reigns.
hmm
Roman Reigns has the long hair, the pretty white teeth, the
yeah,
looks that the girls love. Then you look at CM Punk, a guy who's supposed to be straight edge, that looks like he just came out of a meth addict, a meth
yeah,
lab. That's why he's not on TV. People judge whatever it is. It is.
hmm
But this build has been fucking phenomenal. And you might find my take interesting on this. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but
yeah,
last time I'm going to use the creative pen. What I would do in this match, and I think it's fucking genius, just my personal opinion, because
yeah,
it stems and stitches into a lot of other people in the background. I see a great back and forth match. I see Roman Reigns going for the win. However, they switch it off. Not only does CM Punk retain the title, he retains the title rather with the help from the Vision. CM Punk, the new leader of the Vision, realigns with Paul Heyman. Why? Because Punk and Seth Rollins have beef.
yeah,
Seth Rollins got kicked out of the Vision.
hmm
Have Punk rejoin, become a Heyman guy again, and now Roman Reigns. You may have a Bloodline version 2.0 or 3.0 at this fucking point,
yeah,
but now Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns have common enemies. They may not like each other, but for future bookings, you
yeah.
book Seth Rollins with Roman together
The enemy of my
against a
enemy is my
CM
friend.
Punk and maybe an Austin Theory or a Bronson Reed or a Braun Breaker when he comes back,
Yeah,
Logan Paul, whoever the fuck it might be. I'm just saying it's a possibility that Punk turns heel and joins the Vision
yeah. I mean that
because
I could see it. That'd be pretty cool.
I
Like
can't
it
see
kind of
Roman winning, bro, because he's a part timer right now. Unless
yeah,
he's going to come back full time and do one more run as a champ, then it
hmm
would make sense.
yeah,
But think about it. He wasn't at Monday Night Raw this past week. Punk
yeah.
fucking cut a
Oh,
great promo. But everybody's saying, oh, it's pipe bomb number two. Let me explain the difference. The first pipe bomb was fucking pure organic because
mhm.
he looked into camera four, breaking the fourth wall. Hey, Colt Cabana. All that shit
Yeah,
he did. He wearing the Stone Cold shirt. It was all fucking, all planned out. This second pipe bomb, to me, part of it may have been ad lib, but a lot of that shit was written just
yeah.
to
I mean,
fucking bulk it up because with the whole ticket sales things, WWE is more than fucking aware that they're overcharging tickets because of TKO. So why
Yeah.
not make it a storyline? The way
Hmm.
you put in Pat McAfee talking about the Attitude Era. Make it a storyline with Punk. He had the ice. He wanted his name on the ice cream bars. Made a big fucking deal about that years ago. Now he's
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, ticket prices. Got to lower the prices." So now,
Mm.
if you looked at the ad on SmackDown last night, right now
25.
tickets are 25% off.
Yeah.
That's not because of fucking CM Punk. That was all intertwined.
Yeah.
That ad was already set for Friday Night SmackDown, but
Mhm.
let's make Punk be the official spokesperson, the guy who's against the TKO brand, and
Yeah.
speak up for the fans. Why are they doing that? So the fans back CM Punk. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's for us. He's one of us. No, Dick, he's not one of you. Pat McAfee said it best. He says, "Oh, he came out wearing a CM Punk shirt with a CM Punk jacket. Do all the proceeds go to the fans or people who need the money? No, it goes in CM Punk's pocket." That's why I like Pat McAfee, because he may be a douche, but he cuts a great promo and he's spitting facts.
Yeah.
Punk
No,
may
I.
spit facts on the pipe bomb, but
Mhm.
so does fucking Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
But if Roman is not going to be a full timer, I see CM Punk retaining.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I feel like night two we're pretty on the nose with each other with the same winners. I mean I love CM Punk. I mean this is literally a CM Punk. I mean not for
Oh,
CM.
what do you have there?
That is a
I'm
this
going to put my
fire burns
glasses on.
lyric.
Go ahead. What
This
does it
is
say?
this is lyrics to this fire burns, and I learned this song because of CM Punk. It has
Wow.
deeper meaning for me, but it's ultimately because I was introduced to it because of CM Punk. I love CM Punk. This second run is ultimately, I think, one of his best ever.
Well, this is his
Um,
makeup. I mean, this is his swan song, so to speak, because when
yeah,
all is said and done, when the dust clears, this is going to be his final swan song. I don't think
yeah,
he'll be going to, he wants to finish his career in WWE as well as he should,
yeah.
and he's got a second chance.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, he's
And
been,
now he's looking great in the ring. I mean, he was a little rusty when he came back, and he was kind of puny when he first came back.
yeah,
When he kind of walked all over Orton's return in War Games, when he came out in
yeah,
the white T-shirt, he was kind of slim. He's starting to
yeah.
bulk up. He did a workout video with Sheamus. It's on
Oh, I
YouTube. It's
watched it.
really great fucking workout.
Yeah,
But I got to say, he's looking good. But when I look at that hair all blow dried back, I
yeah,
can't help but to think of Butthead from Beavis and Butthead. If you do a side profile comparison, it's never going to leave your fucking head now. And that shit's going to go up on my screen once this fucking goes on YouTube. Because you do a comparison of
yeah.
Butthead and fucking CM Punk. Not that they look like each other. The pompadour, the side profile, it looks exactly the same, bro.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's that. Now I can't wait for this to come out. I want to see the side by side.
Oh,
Um,
you're gonna see it. Like we're talking about it now, but once this is up on YouTube, everybody's gonna see all the cool pop-ups below. They're gonna be fully entertained, and they're gonna want to
yeah.
come back for future podcasts of Brooklyn Zone Toddy D and Benny D, because I expect you to be back.
Oh,
I'm
I'll be
hoping in the
back.
future we can be banging heads more, because unfortunately, logic speaks for itself. When you're a
Yeah,
wrestling fan and when the book is written and you have a good feel, and if you know what you're talking about, not to toot my
yeah,
own horn, but I do know what I'm talking about, and I think
yeah,
I'm pretty fucking on point.
yeah,
And you seem to agree, which I like. And a
yeah,
lot of times you spoke before me, so it's not like you're just saying, "Oh, I'm going to agree with Toddy D," or "I'm going to agree with
yeah,
Benny." No, it's not like
yeah,
that. We have a vision, no pun intended, and we can tell who's going over versus who isn't. And if we're
yeah,
wrong, hey, we're wrong. It's happened before. Won't, it's not the first time it's going to happen. Won't be the last. But I
yeah,
do feel that our picks, predictions, spoilers, etc.,
yeah.
pretty on fucking point.
Yeah, and I mean, I ultimately this is like I said, this the run that CM Punk's been going on with this title. I don't see him losing. Um, I mean, Roman's a part timer. As much as the star power he brings, this whole title was brought around because Roman was hogging the title. He was barely defending the WWE title. So they created this title as the workhorse title. And that's
Right.
exactly what CM Punk has done with it. And he's been the workhorse. He's doing some of the best work of his career.
Defending it,
He's defending it
showing up.
weekly,
Yeah. No,
showing
I
up
give him
every
credit.
week.
I give him credit. He's entertained the shit out of me. I have to
Yeah,
say.
and I mean the build has been unbelievable, like you said, like the promos, the pipe bomb 2.0, even if it's slightly scripted,
It was
was
still good. Oh,
still
I'm not
it
taking
was
anything
still
away from
unbelievable.
it. Right.
Oh yeah, no, I know you weren't. I'm just saying, even regardless, it was one of the best promos I've seen from him since his
In a long
return.
time.
I
Yeah.
think it was his best promo since his return.
Because I think a lot
Um,
of it was reality. Because he's very passionate about the promo.
yeah,
It's not that I hate when he comes out. Oh, is it great to be alive on a Monday night in such and such area or what? It's not that I
Yeah.
hate it so much, but to me, it's force
It's
fed.
forced.
It's
Yeah.
robotic. I want to see the CM Punk from back in the day.
Yeah.
Whether I was a
Oh, I
fan or
agree.
not is irrelevant. His
Yeah.
promos were fucking incredible, and that one that he just cut recently was
It's on
great on
par.
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
If I have an idea who it's going to be, let's just say Roman Reigns does not win the championship at WrestleMania, and it's going to be someone else eventually that Punk drops the title to.
Mhm.
I have a strong feeling I know who it's going to be.
Yeah.
Before I
I
say,
I have an
oh shit,
idea of who it's going to be as well. I think we might be on the same. We've been on the same page a lot, so
I'll be
I think
honest
it's
with you. If I disagree, I'm not going to lie. Go ahead.
I think it's Oba. I think
Really?
it's Oba. I
Okay,
think it's
so we do
Oba.
disagree.
Yeah, I think it's Oba.
I
I
think
don't
it's going to be
see.
Braun Breaker when he comes back because those two have unfinished business.
See,
They had
I
a great
agree.
match on TV for the title, and I thought I can't even say what I want to say. It
Yeah.
may have been a possibility
Mhm.
that Punk was going to lose the title on a Monday Night Raw because that's how good of a match it was.
Yeah.
But I said, eventually he'll probably retain. Still a great match.
Yeah.
Braun wasn't ready, but when he returns,
Mhm.
eventually he might be ready.
See, I think now that they didn't do the match with Rollins at Mania, I think they're going to build to SummerSlam for that. I think up until Oba, I would agree with you. I figured Braun was going to be the next big guy, but I feel like he kind of fizzled
He's not
off a
that
little
big a
bit.
guy, though. If you look at him, I mean, he's a bull.
No, not like physically. I mean
Oh,
like the guy, like a
oh,
big
no,
like
but
main
Oba
event
definitely
guy.
took that role over. But
Yeah,
yeah, Oba's great, but I just think it's too soon to be a champ. Where do you go from there? If you put the title on right away, where do you go from there? Not that I'm
just
comparing him to Jay Cargill by any stretch of the imagination, but if you take a superstar that looks great, that does great, but give him the title too soon, where do you go from there?
I mean
Make him
that's I
climb up, man. Make
agree.
him fight for it. Make him a formidable opponent to like get the title. Stone Cold
Yeah.
chased the title with Shawn Michaels. He finally got to
Mhm.
WrestleMania 12 and defeated him, or
See,
14 was it?
I mean I
14.
agree. I just don't see CM Punk holding the title past SummerSlam,
Uh,
and they're gonna do Braun versus Seth post Mania, and I don't see where Braun going after the title makes sense. Ultimately, he's going to win it at some point. He's one of WWE's next big guys. You know, you got Dom, you got Oba, you got Braun, Trick, even
a lot
Javon
of future
Evans.
stars, man. A
There's a
lot
lot
of
of
future
future
stars.
stars.
Yeah,
Mello. They got a lot of guys. So
I like
ultimately, he's
Carmelo
going
Hayes.
to.
I think he's fucking amazing.
I met him at WrestleMania 40. He's a great dude.
Yeah,
Like he's a great guy. I was a fan of him in NXT. I was able to meet him at Access at or WWE World is what they call it now. I
right.
met him there. He's a great guy. So like I'm happy to be a fan of his, and you know all those guys, all those that new crop of NXT. I see them as the future.
Yeah,
So and I don't disagree with you. I think if it's not Oba, it's going to be Braun. Like
yeah.
they're
Oba's a
gonna
good
give
pick.
it
I
to a
mean,
young guy.
I don't want to see
They're
a
gonna give it to
guy
a young
get the
guy.
title that soon. I want to see someone work for it. I
Yeah,
like Oba, and from what I understand, like behind the scenes, like the way you were just saying how Carmelo Hayes is a really good dude. I heard Oba Femi's the same thing. A couple of
yeah.
guys on social media were saying that they met him, and they didn't want to bother him, but then he wound up recognizing them. They were called the Haroon twins or something. They're on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
These two guys, they big wrestling fans, I guess, and they go to a lot of places to meet wrestlers, and people know who they are. So when
Yeah,
they approached Oba, from what I read, they
yeah,
didn't want to bother him. And the brother goes to the other, but let's just say hello, whatever. So Oba recognized me. He goes, "Oh, when I was younger, I was big fans of you guys." You know what
yeah,
kind of a fucking pop that does to someone's ego when someone who's over right now tells you he was a fan of you? That's pretty
yeah. It's
cool. And they took the
yeah,
pic together, and they said he was really a down to earth, good dude. And that's
yeah.
the thing. When you first start out, you're a good person. A lot of times, fame goes to people's heads, and they become
Mhm.
like big dicks and jerk offs.
Yeah,
And I'm really hoping this new crop of talent, they don't forget where they came from, because
hundred
all of them
percent.
seem like really good dudes. You got your
Yeah,
Javon Evans of the world, Obafemi, Carmelo Hayes. All these guys seem like Trick Williams. They all seem like really cool, legit dudes.
hmm
And I wish nothing but the best for, from all of
yeah,
them. But Trick Williams, I gotta see him get that U.S. championship. I mean,
yeah,
like Oba, if it takes him a while to become heavyweight champ, it'll be well earned because the guy's a fucking wrecking machine.
yeah,
I'm not so big on the walk. I think it's fun to watch. It's kind of entertaining, but you're a big dude. Just walking like a bad motherfucker. Looks like you're
yeah,
doing March of the Wooden Soldiers or some shit. Like, what the fuck you doing? I don't get that.
yeah. No, but
That's just me.
I could definitely see a young guy dethroning CM Punk because, like you were saying earlier, Roman's a part timer. The whole point of this title is the workhorse title. Like, if he
Right.
wins it, what's he going to disappear for 3 months? And then who's
That's the
like,
thing. He used to say shit about Brock Lesnar all the time, not showing up as a champ. Roman Reigns was no
yeah,
different because these
yeah,
guys are
literally,
part timers. They're older. I get it. Roman Reigns, he has health issues that he has to address, on a regular
yeah,
basis. He said it even on, oh geez, I think it Jimmy Kimmel. He was on one of the talk shows recently, and he says his biggest thing first that comes is being a dad and a husband.
mm-hmm.
And I respect that. But if you're going to be
Oh,
a dad and a
100%,
husband and want to be home with your family because you're at a stage in your career that you can afford to be,
yeah,
then don't put the title. Someone like you don't need the title.
yeah. You have
If
over
you're not
enough.
going to be showing up on a weekly basis, that is. If you are, then hey, more power to you. Win the
Exactly.
title. But either way, I think this is going to be a great match. I think it's going to steal the show.
Yeah.
I mean, you got two guys in their mid 40s that can still go. They're both great on the mic. Both have good
Hmm.
looks, have great presence. So, I mean, I see more realistically CM Punk going over. Is it a
Yeah.
possibility that Roman Reigns can win? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if I was a betting man and I'm thinking, the harsh reality, I see CM Punk
Hmm.
retaining. Whether he goes to
Yeah,
the
I
Vision or not
agree.
is irrelevant. I just said that that would
Hmm.
be a good spin. I'm not saying it's going to happen. That's how
Yeah.
I would do it. But
Hmm.
I see CM Punk retaining. To me, that's the most wisest decision to make. And if Roman Reigns sticks around, who knows? Maybe he can win or maybe eventually win.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that's a
I'd be.
workman's title, like you said. So let's
Yeah.
see a newbie come up eventually once
Hmm.
he's built up good enough, whether it's Braun Breaker, Obafemi, whoever it is. And then eventually Punk will say, okay, he's not ready to step down. He said it like basically saying how fake wrestling is, like the outcomes are predetermined. He said, I'm
Yeah.
not ready to step down yet.
I
Meaning,
don't blame
hey,
him.
you're not getting the title. Fuck you. I
Yeah.
fought my whole life to get this shit. Vince,
Yeah.
and he's using Vince McMahon. That's another reason why I think Vince is coming back
He's
because
been
he
planting
fucking
seeds.
brought up how this fucking sick, twisted guy made Roman Reigns eat dog food. That was in the
Yeah.
thing with Baron Corbin when
Mhm.
Baron Corbin had Roman Reigns tied to the post,
Yeah.
and when he was in the bloodline. Roman Reigns, the
Hmm.
last person he had lost to clean in the ring
Was
was
Baron
Baron
Corbin.
Corbin,
Yeah.
who I'm a huge
Which
fan
is
of, by the
insane.
way. I wish
Oh,
he would come back.
yeah, he was doing, like, I keep going back to it. He was doing great work in NXT. Him and Braun Breaker were, as
Yeah,
a tag team.
yeah,
They were called the Wolf Dogs. They're
right, right. I
unbelievable.
seen that. Yeah.
They were great.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin was
Constable
great.
Corbin, I like too. I thought the gimmick was hysterical. I like when he was
Yeah,
down and out on his luck and he was all disheveled and he was poor.
imagine.
And then he got the money back. I listened to him on Busted Open. I
Hmm.
think Baron Corbin is great. He goes by his name now, but the bottom line is he should have never gotten released from WWE.
No,
There's
he
certain
shouldn't.
guys
He
that
was
should
good.
still be there. He's one of them.
Him, Dijak, those guys should still be around.
Yeah,
Like, Dominik Dijakovic is unbelievable. How do you release that guy?
I know.
He was doing insane
Good look,
work,
good
and you
presence.
just
You know what it is? It's all about the reaction. You can be
yeah.
big and bad or be a high flyer, a small
Mhm.
guy, luchador. If you're not getting a fan reaction,
Yeah,
booing or cheering, they're like, okay, this guy is yesterday's news or this woman's yesterday's news. We're going to go with so and so who has a better reaction. It's all about
yeah,
reaction,
no,
selling tickets. You're not selling
100%.
tickets, you're not putting asses in seats. Then they're
Yeah,
going to say, like they say in the barbershop, next, and that's going to be
yeah,
it.
no, literally.
Yeah.
So,
So let me ask
but
you something, Benny. Where can we find you on social media?
okay, so I have my own podcast, which I have to have you on at some point. We'll
Uh,
talk. We'll talk all
I
things
would
wrestling.
love it.
It's called The Boiler Room. So you can find me
Nice.
on YouTube on at The Boiler Room Pod. That's on YouTube, and then on social media. I run a little, like, production company called 3-4 Media. I do the podcast. I do outside stuff, little series stuff. You can find me on Instagram at 3-4. 3 is spelled out, so THREE 4, the number 4 underscore media. And then my personal page is Benny D 34. So you can find me on those social media platforms. I post a lot of wrestling. On the Boiler Room, we talk wrestling. We talk everything: sports, wrestling, movies. It's a whole, like, pop culture
The
podcast,
the
essentially.
personal page, what page is that? Is that a Facebook or what
No,
is?
it's Instagram. Instagram.
Oh, that's the Instagram one you just mentioned. Okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
definitely
So
put
I
that
have
up
two
on the
different
screen.
Instagrams. Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
you can follow me on there to keep up with me if you would like. But my
Definitely will. You better do the same, or as my
oh
boy always says, elbows will have to be dropped. That's
look,
Die Hard Derek Gordon. That's his line. My main
yeah.
man.
So yeah, I mean, you can find me on there. I post a lot of content. Sometimes wrestling, sometimes not. Like, I did a podcast outside of MetLife at SummerSlam this year. We did
Very
we
cool.
did
Very cool.
predictions. We did predictions outside of MetLife, so you can check that out. I mean, even though you know the results, it's still a cool episode.
No, it's still cool to watch and see what you were right about versus what you weren't.
Yeah. So you can follow me on there, and then yeah, I mean, I'm very inconsistent with my podcast, but when episodes drop, they're great. So check me out on
I'm
there. Check
definitely
me
gonna
out.
check it out. And I implore everyone out there to do the same. For yours, is that all you had for your
That's
social
all I
media?
have. Yeah.
Well, for everyone out there who knows, who doesn't know, you've been living under a rock. I'm Brooklyn's own Toddy D. I'm at Toddy D Wrestling on Twitter, now known as X. Toddy D, you can find me on YouTube. For Benny D, I'm Brooklyn's own Toddy D. The pleasure's been all yours. Watch WrestleMania 42 next week and see how fucking on or off this fucking duo is. Once again, Brooklyn's own Toddy D signing off. And I advise everyone to watch this podcast. Check out Benny D as well. Until next time.